Monday and G's. So it's Monday 7E, right?
Yeah, Monday 7E.
And G's.
Yes.
Yep.
And we are the group Minority Report.
Oh, together y'all Minority
Yeah.
Report.
Yeah.
So we got to break down the letters first. So we got to get past the names. G's. Where do you get the name G's from?
It's built out of a couple parts. You know, I was at E3 in the Marine Corps, so I wanted E3 in there somewhere. So we came up with a creative way without using numbers in order to create that. And then the first and the last is my first initial and last initial of my name.
Oh, G's.
Yep.
You a devil dog though, huh?
Yep.
Hoorah.
Hoorah.
For sure.
And Monday. How you get the name Monday?
Well, Monday's actually my birth name, and the 7E, you know, it has to do with the 7 deadly sins. Also, you know, God created earth within 7 days, and then the E is for the elements that keep us all.
So it's the 7 elements.
Yes.
Monday 7. Monday's your birth name?
Yes, yes,
Really?
yes.
That's unique.
Yeah, it's spelled just like the day of the week, too.
Yep.
Did they explain to you why?
It's mom and dad, you know.
they didn't have you never got the story?
Well, that's actually my last name. My first name is Edward.
Okay.
And my last name is Monday. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's the family name.
Yeah,
That's
the family name. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So you guys are Minority Report.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
And how did that come about?
Well, we met each other.
Because you were a solo artist.
Yeah, I was
first.
a solo artist first,
Okay.
yes. And then he and I met, and he had such a passion for the industry, wanted to get into it. And at the time, I was wasn't as motivated about music anymore as I probably needed to be. And when I met him, he had such a drive and a flame. And I was just like, man, it kind of gave me back my passion for music, seeing how serious and dedicated he was, you know. And I felt, you know, at least I can mentor him, even if I wasn't, because at that point I hadn't planned on doing the Minority Report thing. I was just going to feature him on a few songs. And then I said, man, I think we do good as a group, you know. Yeah. And plus he and I, you know, not just because I'm black and he's white, but we have a lot in common, but we also have a lot of different perspectives on things, you know, politically, personally, culture-wise. So it was just like the perfect combination for us to be able to give our report. And that's why we spell, you know, it's my and then Norty, because it's his report, my report, him being his own my report, you know. So we kind of just have both of our perspectives as far as music and just life in general, and it kind of works out where we can spread twice the message by teaming up.
So how did y'all meet?
Actually, we met with our significant others. They're sisters.
Yep.
So,
okay.
Yeah, so that's how we met.
Oh, okay. That's your brother-in-law.
Yes, my brother, yeah.
Actually, I've been a listener of Monday 70 for a while, but you know, my wife would always tell me, hey, Monday come out with a new song. I was like, man, I'm going to check it out right now. I got to hear this.
Really?
And it was actually, we met in person for the first time at our Troy and I's
their anniversary.
Yep.
Oh, that's the first time y'all met?
Yep.
You was a fan of his music?
Oh, yeah. I grew up listening to a lot of the Midwest music, you know, like Chris, Calico, Tech Nine, Monday 70, Eminem. I liked rock groups like Motley Crue and AC/DC and Metallica. Yep, you can't forget Metallica.
Korn.
Yep, Korn.
Where you from?
I'm here actually from Kansas, Hutchinson, Kansas.
Hutchinson, Kansas?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So you the music from all over.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You about my age. So then we listen to all the music from everywhere. You know what I mean? From everywhere. So you, how did you end up getting into the music, like the Tech Nines and the strange music? How did you find that type of music?
You know, I was always listening to different stuff than, you know, everybody around, you know, a rural school like Bueller, you know, they listen to a lot of country. I listen to a lot of country, like Hank Williams Jr. and Johnny Cash and that stuff. But I also listen. I love to. I just love the Midwest style, how, you know, they come in and just straight chop, you know, and do stuff like that. And then the creativity, the storytelling ability behind the music. I just really bought into that a lot more than people my age back then, you know. And I was always the one coming up with the new cool songs. Everybody'd be like, hey, man, what you got this week? You got any new songs? We'd be trading songs that we'd heard and stuff. But yeah.
You know, this is the Kaiser era. Napster,
Yo.
where you would download the music.
Yo.
Yeah.
Kazaa, what was it called? Kaiser Kazaa, what was it?
I can't
We used to
remember.
download the music and put it on the CDs and pass it around.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
That's
about.
when the Texas voice was going crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The Swisher House.
Yeah,
the
Swisher
Swisher House
House
era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was that era.
Slim Thug and all those cats. Yeah.
So, well, how did you get into music?
Oh man, I wrote my first song at the age of 7, and it's just something I've always done. Is, you know, I guess just a natural ability. You know, songs, playwrights, screenplays. If it has to do with writing, I'm probably doing it. You know, so I just started at such a young age, and maybe because my mother was a writer in college and stuff. So it kind of, I guess it's just in my DNA. You know, I just love writing, whether it's country, gospel, alternative hip hop, man, movies. I'm working on 4 different screenplays right now.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So I just really like literature, I guess. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
And so somewhere along the lines, you got to doing music and you met up with Tech Nine.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did you meet Tech Nine?
Well, him and my cousins. I was born here in Kansas City, but I grew up most of my life on the West Coast in the Seattle, Olympia, Washington area. So I would come here every summer to visit my dad and the rest of my family, because both of my parents are from Kansas City. And Tech and my cousin Damon were really good friends back when, even before we were teenagers and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I got signed to a record label out of Minnesota called MW Pro. Back in 2007, I signed with them. And I wanted to reach out and deal with and work with some of the Kansas City artists. So obviously Tech was one of the first people on the list, him and my cousin Dame Dub. And then I just ended up on my first album. I think I worked with everybody on Strange Music: Prozac, Tech, Chris, Scatterman, and Snug Brim. On that first album, Jay Casino.
That's what I'm saying. So when I look at your track list, it looks like you're on Strange Music. I honestly, you can ask Anthony, bro. I asked him if you were signed to Strange. Like, is he signed to Strange? Like, you know what I mean? Because on your album, you got
Yeah.
What I got it. This is a off-topic question, but it's on topic, right? Because you said you worked with him. What was it like working with Chris Calico?
Man, Chris, man, that's funny you brought that up. I just did a song, he and I, tonight. I just did a song called Public Enemy with Chris tonight.
Like he was there?
No, I just had his verse. And we've done another song called Beef from an artist in Florida that we did, 5 months ago, maybe 6 months?
Yeah,
we
like
did.
that.
And that's me, Chris, and an artist out of Florida called
so
Contretto.
you and Chris is still working?
Yeah, I mean, we weren't in studio together, but one of the artists, we're still on 2. Actually, the song that we did today, Public Enemy, I have 2 other songs that I'm doing that's featuring Chris Calico as well for another person's project, but they wanted me and Chris on the song. They like he and I together.
The dynamic.
Yeah,
dynamic.
Yeah, Chris and I on the first album, we did a song called The Diner, which is kind of like a jazz style, because I wanted to pay homage to Kansas City and jazz. Yeah. And then we did another track called Paranoid. So
was you on the studio for that?
Yeah, we were in studio for that.
What's the energy like? That's what I'm trying to get to. Man, what's it like working with Chris Calico?
Man, he's a genius, man, and he's so talented, and he's such a hard worker. And he, like, when I was doing that first album, I wasn't too seasoned as far as recording music. And Chris was one of those people who really just told me, hey man, just calm down. You're going to be all right. Just do you. You're talented. Don't worry about it. Everything's going to work out. So him and Tech really made me feel super comfortable my first time around with that first album. But Chris, man, I would put him and Tech would, if I was recording with Prince or Michael Jackson. Those are two of the best in this business, especially as far as the hip hop scene. It's a real honor, working with those guys and seeing them in action is, I would compare that to a live Michael Jordan game or at his prime, They're at the top of their game for sure.
I know it's big. Prince, man.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, man.
Hey, even Quincy Jones said, and I quote this, Quincy Jones said Tech Nine is the Michael Jackson of hip hop. And Quincy's worked with both of them. So I'm going to go ahead and agree with that. Tech is one of a kind for sure. I was just with him 3 days ago.
Oh, yeah.
4 days ago on Monday. Yeah. In Wichita. So.
What's it like making a song with him? Oh, you was with him in Wichita. So you tour with Tech still?
No. I was just down there supporting one of his shows. I knew he was doing a show in Wichita. I was trying to get E3 to come up, but he had some things going on down in Fort Worth, so he wasn't able to make it. But I took my son and one of my other friends, and we just hung out before the show, and we were going to hang out after the show, but it was so chaotic and crowded. I just dipped out right after the show, but... Yeah, we chopped it up and actually found out, some personal things about our families that even brought Tech and I even closer together. So it was a really good meeting. But yeah, man, he's an incredible artist, man, and he just a really nice person. I know people hear a lot of different things, about him, but he's a really solid dude.
Well, right now they saying they got a lot of crazy allegations on his name about the not crazy allegations. Let me take that back. They saying some money came up missing in the deals with some of them deals, right? So when you was working with Tech, through a label, right? Through your label?
Yeah, my label and Strange Music. Travis O'Gwen was kind of the consultant for my first album. So yeah, we worked really closely, and
paperwork.
Everything was straight, man. I've only seen the highest level of integrity when it came to Tech, Chris, everybody over at Strange. Other artists, whatever they went through, I cannot say that I had any experience like that. Actually, Travis was one of the people who went to the label I was signed with and made sure that I had a sizable monthly per diem so I could concentrate on what I needed to do as an artist. I mean,
Travis did that for you?
Yeah. And I know he gets a bad rap, but I'll tell you, man, that dude really looked out for me because there was a lot about the industry and the business side of music that I didn't know. And he made sure that I didn't get screwed over. He made sure that at the end of the day, I was comfortable and was able to do the music that I wanted to do. So, I mean, he had my back 100%. So I hate it when a lot of artists have certain things to say about Tech or Travis or Strange, whether they're artists that are used to be signed to him or whatever. Me personally, I've only had good experiences with those guys, and it's always been love and respect. So, I'm not trying to diminish anybody else's experience with them, but as far as Monday 7E and other people like my cousin Dame Dub, who's one of the original RDV members, he was just locked up when they were having their, round with Let's Get Messed Up and all those songs, he was away. But it was, I've had great experience with Strange, man. And I think it's unfortunate that sometimes Tech and Travis get a bad rap, because people don't really know the inner workings of the industry. A lot of decisions that were made, they weren't based on personal things, because Travis and Tech, they're good people, but sometimes business has to supersede our personal endeavors, in order to keep the integrity of the music business,
Yeah.
So yeah, I've only had good experience with those guys, and it's kind of shocking, but I hear certain stories.
It sounds like you wasn't signed to him, so you don't got nothing bad to say.
No.
That's what it sounds like.
No, I wasn't signed to him, and at that time, and at that time though, I was pretty close with some of the other artists, and things were happening, and it just sucks that things kind of soured over the amount of time.
You got to see, like, because the way you worded it was like, it wasn't, you said they were keeping up with the integrity of the business instead of friendships.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was still some friendships, but at the end of the day, it is business. At the end of the day, numbers have to add, and I understand that. I didn't, because I wasn't a signed artist to Strange Music. I'm sure some of their dynamics were different than mine, because it was probably a little bit more personal with us, because I didn't have that business dynamic going on with them as far as being signed to that label.
Yeah, but if Travis went out his way to go to your label, and say, hey, he's one of mine. Y'all got to get this. Wait, look at this. Look at this. Wait a minute, what is this? Get this right. He needs enough to live. He can't live off this. Man, if Travis was doing that for you at your label, just because he love you, he didn't have he wasn't your manager or nothing. He didn't owe you, didn't owe him nothing owed or nothing. He just did this because it was right. And he knew that what they was doing was wrong. Right?
He literally.
I'm pretty sure he's doing that with his people.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. He literally went out of his way and told the label, hey, you do this. This is the right thing to do with your artists. And and I'm not talking where he was able to get me a couple extra $100 a month. I'm talking some thousands per month more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he really went to bat for me, and it was a new label, so they were kind of green as far as the business too. But Travis consulted on the first album, and man, without him, it would have been probably a pretty screwed up experience. But at least on the money side, he made sure that they treated me right, and I was comfortable. And so did Walt. Black Walt did the same thing, because he's the one that got me my distribution deal after the first album. So, Black Walt.
Where'd you get distribution at?
Through Kingwood, Texas. At that time, it was a company called Deep Distribution. They had just did a deal with the Yin Yang twins. Yin Yang had just got off Koch Records, and I met them through Black Walt down in Texas.
Back then, distribution, they would press up your CDs and all of that. That's the distribution you're talking about.
Yeah,
right?
Physical copies, Walmart. Shoot, I met Violet Brown through Travis O'Gwen, and Violet, was one of the most powerful women in hip hop. She was one of the head people for a company called Transcore, which did all the Walmarts and all the major retailers and stuff. So, I was in a really good position, working with them. And those were connections that I made through Tech and Travis, There was a lot of guys that had probably been in the game for years that didn't get that kind of distribution. But because of the relationship I had with them, I was able to not have to jump through a lot of hoops. And I did all this and never had done a show. I'm in all the Walmarts and FYEs and Best Buys and Targets and never had even performed a show. So relationships are so important in this business. And that's one thing that I've tried to keep in perspective. I don't try to get in other people's beefs or jump on other people's bandwagons. I base my relationship on my relationship, and I feel it's better that way. It's safer that way, as far as I don't have to worry about all the, back and forth. I try to be an even kill with everybody, because I'm still cool with everybody over there, whether they're still on Strange or not, So it's I've had a good experience with Strange Music. I gotta say that, man. With them, Black Walt, Tone Henderson from Henderson Entertainment, Bruce Jackson Entertainment. That's my circle. Anthony Redmond, that's my circle, and I don't really go outside of it. I don't really do too many interviews. The only two interviews that I've actually done, I did one for the first album, and the guys on Redmond Architects.
Yo, the Architects in Houston.
Yeah, I did. He set that up.
Architect.
Yeah,
you set that up.
Yeah, he set that up, and it was even on what was that?
Can I get an interview?
St. Louis. Oh yeah, they coming.
Yeah, something TV.
Yeah, it was like Coast to Coast TV. Or
Yeah,
Coast to TV
yeah, it was nice, man. Yeah, it was nice, man. So, you know, and doing this interview, you know, I've been wanting to get with you for a while. Redmond told me about it, so I was so happy when he called and said, "Hey, man, let's do it." You know, because with Redmond, if he says let's do it, I don't even question it. I really don't. I don't even question. I'm like, oh, just set it up. Tell me where to be. Let's do it. You know.
You seen how I've been with him all night.
Yeah, for real, man. You know, he's rare in this business.
Me to do?
Yeah.
Where do I sit at?
Right.
I always ask you want me to pick up a box?
For real.
Can I plug in a cord? What you need me to do for you?
For real.
Man, that is so real, man.
He never sleeps.
He's a hard-working dude.
Yes,
man. He's what you say. He's one of a kind in this business.
In this business, he's so rare. You know. I
don't even like telling people his name on live like that because I don't want to like overload him with work.
I know.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
For real.
If they knew who he is or what he does. Like I want everybody to know this man that we talking about right now is the reason why these mics is here.
Right.
Is the reason why these cameras is here. Is the reason why the cameras is flipping. The cameras is flipping, bro.
Right.
This going to you, going to him. The cameras is going crazy. He's the reason why we got this lighting in here. So he's the reason why we sound so good. You see, we did a pre sound thing before we got. He's the reason. You know what I mean? So Anthony Redmond. That's the last time I'm gonna say it on camera because I don't want everybody knowing my plug like
For
that.
real. me and G's, we always say, man, you know, when we get in a financial position, we're just gonna hire him. We are your only clients. We are your only clients, dude. How much you want to just get a whole new phone, and we're your only clients.
Valuable asset to the team.
Yeah, because he's so, you know, he's so valuable, man. I mean, shoot. I have a house in Olathe, and we came out there and was shooting a video. And this is not too long after we had met and stuff. And he came out, man, and it was just a great thing, man. You know, so yeah, he's definitely somebody who I hold in high regards, especially in this business. Because this can be a wild, wild ride.
If you want to get in podcasting, he is like the Grand Wizard.
Yeah. For real. For real.
He's the Grand Wizard, bro. He is the it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
And what I seen, he's. I'm not a jealous person, Monday, right? I never get jealous. Nothing ever gets me jealous, right?
Right.
But he sends me your website one day, right? I started acting like a little kid. Well, why come I ain't got one of these? How come you ain't do me this then? Man, no. Monday get all of this? This is not right. How can I? So I just want people to know. You do have your own website.
Yes.
This, you know what I mean?
It's Mynority Report website, yes.
MinorityReportMusic.com.
Yeah.
The great thing about you guys' website is direct to consumer.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can go straight on there and buy your music. I can buy one of your albums. I can buy some of your merch.
And you can also donate to missing and exploited children. That's a program and an organization that myself and E3 are very adamant and
I can go to your website and donate
directly to missing and exploited children. One of our QR codes goes directly to them. Or if you buy our music or someone else, we also give 25% of every dollar that we make directly to missing and exploited children. But for those who aren't music lovers, don't really listen to hip hop, hey, come on, enjoy our music if you want. But if not, we feel just as good if you just donate to missing and exploited children, you know?
Both good causes.
And they can go straight to the website, do that QRC code. We don't get any of that. Actually, at our meet and greets, we started a electronics company a couple years ago before we really dove into this music. And
I started a what?
Electronics company, small electronic ring doorbells, bicycle horns,
protective devices,
cameras, all kind of stuff.
You guys sell it still?
Yeah. But let's be honest, I have shelves and shelves of electronics at my house. So we're going to start giving anything that we sell of those, we're giving all of that 100% to missing and exploited children. Every last penny of it. Because we have thousands of items. I got more smart watches than Apple, you know. I'm serious, you know.
I need a spy cam.
We have those. We have those. Next time I come to Kansas City, I will give Redmond one, and you can have one absolutely free. We'll give you a couple and a
My
ring
son
doorbell.
likes to drink and drive.
So you,
I'm trying to put a camera in his
you
car.
can put a camera in his car. We have something.
See, I know you were drinking.
Yeah.
I know you were drinking. You
Yep.
can't tell me you were. See, look, I'm just want to convict him before they do.
Right,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Yeah, hold them accountable.
Hold them
before they
accountable
do.
before they do.
Yeah,
you know?
that's right. That's right.
Now, you said Black Walt helped you get distribution.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Man, I could go on, man. That Black Walt, you know, right after I got my distribution deal, you know, he had some things that he had to take care of. So he was kind of on vacation for a while. But now he's back. When Walt got done with his vacation, he called me, he said, Monday, I'm doing your album, Tech's album, and Casey Young Boss. You guys have my undivided attention. This was like about 1.5 years ago. And, you know, Walt, I consider him my brother. He knows my entire family. I know his entire family. He's always been a stand-up guy. He's the reason why I got the distribution that I did, you know, with the first album.
When he said he was doing your album, what did he mean by that?
Consulting on it, making sure that I had distribution if I wanted to do touring, just anything.
Black Walt can do all that.
Oh yeah, man. You know, he's really the reason why Tech's new album is what it is that's gonna come out. Cause see, I had one of the songs.
What you mean by that?
Man, Walt gave Tech and Travis a whole new perspective of what Tech needed to do for this latest album. And Tech followed Black Walt's format to the letter.
Can you explain?
I don't want to give too much away, but I'll tell you, the fans, like one of the songs, I've had the song months before it even came out for the rest of the world as a single. And he and I would listen to it, and I was just like anticipating the rest of the world hearing that. I'm like, this is the Tech. And it was all because of Black Walt's perspective. And there was some opposition at first, you know. You know, there was people that were like, you know, we don't want to fix something that's not broke. And Walt was like, no, I'm not saying anything's broke, but this is the direction he needs to go. And like I was just with Tech on Monday, and we talked about that. And he says, man, I'm so glad that I listened to Walt, because it is Tech's best album ever. Ever.
Come on, man.
Ever. It's the most vulnerable. It's the most personal. And I told Tech to his face, I said, man, on this album, I think you got better. I called him Benjamin Button. It's like he just went all the way back to the youthful and the vibrant, and oh man, and it's so personal. You wait, man, this is it. This is Tech's best work. I promise you. It's his best work. It's his best work. Watch. When it comes out, you're going to say, Monday, you said it first.
Say it again.
Tech's latest album that comes out June 27th is the best work to date from Tech 9.
All right. I just want to make sure. I was going to say, what you say? You know what I'm saying? But you keep saying it.
Yeah, man.
So you standing on it. You really believe that.
Yes.
And you believe, and for some, and you're also saying Black Walt
was the key component in Tech's new direction with this album, 100%. And Tech trusted him 100%. And I this album, from what I know, and I have, you know, some inside information on it, it's Tech's most vulnerable, most personal album. I mean, he doesn't have any features on this album. He has one feature that's super big. I won't say a name. The rest of the world will see that.
I think I know who it is.
Who? I bet you don't.
I can't say that right now.
Well, you can say a name, and I can either say
his cousin is my best friend.
Okay, well then you might know. Yeah. You might know.
So
we'll say it off camera.
Yeah, we'll get off.
Okay,
camera.
okay. But yeah, this album has no features, man.
It's a big one. This person is like, he did a song with who? Like, no, she did a song with you?
Well, this person that I'm talking about is a guy.
All right, then. Nah, we talking about somebody else then. Yeah, we talking about somebody else. So he got a big feature.
Oh, yeah.
Wait. He got a feature bigger than him?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'll say
The
as
only
far
person
as
bigger than Tech is
who, M, Drake. They might be bigger as far as the numbers, but they're not as talented.
I'm just saying though. I'm saying though. You just named and Lil Wayne. These are the only three people that could be like.
Okay.
That could be like, okay, damn, Tech got us. It was only three. I mean, features that I could see Tech being like wowed about. Huh? He said it ain't.
No,
It is.
I'll talk to you. I'm not confirming anything. I don't know, but
Hey, you know, I heard, so fun fact about Tech since we're talking about this.
all right.
Okay, Tech Nine and features. Tech Nine's cousin is my best friend.
Okay.
So Tech got a little brother, and his little brother comes to the house and to see his little cousin one day.
Right.
And he's like, "Hey, y'all want to hear this song? It's Tech Nine, Lil Wayne." We was like, "What?" He said, "Man, Tech Nine killed Lil Wayne." We heard the original record. It's Tech and Lil Wayne.
Is it the one F Food?
No, it was no. Here's the deal. So this is what happened. I don't even know the name of it. I forgot the name of it, because it came out like this. The way it came out, the Tech killed Lil Wayne. So he murdered him. He murdered Lil Wayne, right? Mm-hmm. To the point to where what Lil Wayne did was took that same song, took his verse off, and put Andre 3000
on the interlude.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, for Carter 5.
Yeah. And he put his verse on a song with other people because he couldn't have his verse on a song
Tech
with
did murder that.
Tech like killed.
Yeah.
He had to put him on there with Andre 3000 so it could.
Yeah. Tech's definitely.
But I heard the original version of Lil Wayne and Tech. The whole song, just them two, just them two, man. So basically, Lil Wayne sent Tech the song. Tech recorded it.
Right.
His brother like, "Man, give me that." You know what I'm saying? His brother want to listen to it.
Right.
So his brother came and let us hear it. You know what I mean? But when Lil Wayne heard it, Lil Wayne said, "This will fuck up my career." At this point in time in his career, he was like, "This will kill me."
Right.
So he broke the song down into 3 different songs. Did you know that story?
No, I did not know that. I knew that Tech was on it with Andre 3000, and I said, "Man, Tech's a bad man."
Lil Wayne had to break the song down. Let's just put it like that. Cause Tech
I believe it. I believe it.
So I'm just like, who? Like, so because Lil Wayne would be off that list.
Well, and like I said, I'm not gonna say any names, but that person is only on the chorus. That person doesn't even have a feature verse. It's just on the chorus.
Oh, that nigga, he still got that old Roger Troutman song he had laying around. Another one of them, huh? No, I'm just you remember he did that song?
Oh yeah,
Roger Troutman?
Yeah. What was it called? Twisted.
Yeah, my
Twisted.
Twisted.
Yeah, Twisted. Yeah.
They think we don't listen to Tech.
Oh man,
this what I'm saying. With that's the album with Twisted on it, right? What's that? Angelic. That's Angelic.
I think that was Angelic.
Come on, bro.
I think it was
Come
Angelic.
on, bro. He's not topping that today.
Man,
he's not topping. He can't do that.
That's funny you said that, because to me, Angelic was until this one comes out and I get to hear all the tracks.
He can't outdo Angelic.
He's outdoing Angelic on this one. I promise you.
It's a good thing that we arguing Tech against Tech. That's a good thing. That's great. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Tech 9 today can outdo Tech 9 Angelic.
Man, I'm telling you.
But he's more seasoned.
Yes.
He's learned more. He's just been he's been in the gym practicing.
Well, I think what's going to make this album so much better than the previous album is because it's all Tech. Okay. It's all Tech, man, and he's telling parts of his life that no one's ever really heard, and it's rare for an artist, especially of his stature, to at this point in his career be so vulnerable right now. I mean,
what else could he have said, bro? He didn't say he smoked dips, he smoked juice. He said he took the baby to the abortion clinic. You know what I'm saying? Well, how more vulnerable could he get?
It's that period of time in every young man's life that from this age to this age. Like I said, I don't want to give too much away. I get it. It's that time frame.
He talking growth.
Yeah.
He talking growth.
Yes. So
he talking growth.
I'm excited. I think he's gonna outdo everything.
I mean, bro, this is another reason why I'm saying that. They're going to crucify me for this, okay? But when you had Tech in the Cutlass, he had a different type of hunger. Mm-hmm. Right now, you talking about Tech in a Bentley.
And a Maybach. And a this, and a that.
I mean, yeah, with the garage.
Right,
we talking about
right.
Tech with the garage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's not that hungry.
You know, but that passion though, I think he still has that passion. And the thing about Tech, I think he always wants to get better. And, you know, obviously him having 20-something full-length albums, there's a lot that's said. But I think with this album, he was able to, well, I know for a fact, he was able to really make it personal. That's why there's no features on this album. There's not a Tech album that doesn't have at least 2 features or 3 features or 4 or 5. This one's all Tech, except for a chorus here and a chorus there. So he's giving his fans and the listeners something that they've never gotten out of him. And I think that's a really brave thing, especially at this point in his career, because he could have just kept doing what he was doing because it wasn't broke. You know, he didn't have to fix anything. Man, he's giving them more now.
So you think he went back to? Have you ever heard the song "Counterfeiters"?
No.
Okay, he got a song called "Counterfeiters" on the Russia Roulette album.
Okay,
where he was really rapping.
Yeah, this is
what he is he back into like?
He's back.
The Road Dogg villains rapping.
I won't say that because I've only heard a couple of the tracks.
Okay.
But I've you know, with talking to Walt and then talking with Tech personally a few days ago, I kind of got a little bit more insight on this new project, man. And I think it's gonna be his best work to date.
Man, that's a big.
I know. I can't even believe I'm saying that because Angelica was my favorite album. Angelic and Absolute Power.
Have to wait and see when this comes out, man. I'm gonna have to see
we're gonna listen to it together.
We
man.
can do that. We're
gonna listen to it together.
Now, Black Walt. I know he's a powerful person.
Yes.
Right? But he still got his hand in the distribution thing like that.
Man, Walt is, you know, he's got it all. You know, distribution. You know what? If Walt's on your side, and that's why I'm so glad that me and Walt's relationship has stood the test of time. Like even when he was out on vacation and stuff, as soon as he got off vacation, he picked up right where we left off. Like, hey man, I got you. And this is what we're gonna do, you know. He's another one of those rarities in this game, man.
So he like you said, he consulted with your album.
Yes.
What I don't want to say what has he done.
I sent
what are
him
some
over
of the things that what is
his honest opinion? Like I sent him every time he and I would finish a song. Yep. That's the first person I sent it to, Walt, and then Redman. Yep. And okay, what do you think? And he's told me, I don't know about that one. You know, maybe want to do this. Like I sent him this one, and I was thinking it. I said, man, Tech would be really good on this song. And me and Walt are kind of like-minded in a lot of ways. Before he called me right back after the song, he goes, man, that song you just sent me, I think Tech needs to be on it. And at that time, Tech was in Wichita. What was that, 2 years ago, October?
It was like Shockers.
Yeah, it was Wichita State University.
For, I can't remember what
for the basketball.
Yeah.
It was something night something for the Shockers. Anyway, Tech had an event down there. And he I talked to Walt. He says, well, yeah, why don't you go down there and talk to him and stuff? And Tech had heard the song that I wanted him. And I wasn't even thinking about him being on the song until Walt was like, man, Tech would be really good on that. But, you know, time constraints and him being busy. So it never worked out as far as us getting on that song together. But, you know, we're definitely, E3 and I are definitely going to find something special, probably on this Volume 2 album and do some things with him for sure.
Yep.
Oh, so have you ever made a Tech Nine placement? You ever been on a Tech Nine album?
No. He's been on mine. I've never been on one of his records.
Oh, okay.
No, never been on any of his records.
How easy is it to get Tech Nine on a song today?
I think he just has to, because obviously it's not about money with him at this point.
Yeah.
I just think it's something that, you know,
he gotta like it.
He's got to like it. Yeah. He's got to like it, or he's not going to do it for sure. and you know, something that he vibes to, and something that he feels. Tech's about like things moving forward. You know, he doesn't just want to do a song and we just do the song. He's gonna want, okay, you're gonna do the song and then go to the video. You know, he wants the visual behind everything.
I want that every time.
Yeah, so,
I want that every time.
Yeah, and that's how it should be. So you gotta respect it. You know,
I want to see every song come to life.
For real.
When I'm in the studio, I'm like, yeah, now the video would look like this.
Yes.
You know,
You know
That's what Redmond and I were just talking about tonight.
we talk about that stuff all the time.
Yeah, when we write something, I want to be able to visualize it for sure.
That's cool. You guys still got that relationship with Tech.
Yeah,
like that,
I remember when him and Travis first met in '99. I met Travis in '99 with Tech, and this is right before they started Strange Music. Maybe it was '98 when I first met them.
You
met Travis. I already knew Tech, but Travis, when it was right before they started Strange Music.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so. Okay, so Travis kind of already knew you.
No,
I'm saying when he met you before about time you got your record deal. When you went to go get your record deal, he kind of already knew you.
Yeah, for sure.
So he made sure. He's like, okay, you over there? Well, then let me make sure.
Yeah, like actually, when I sealed the deal with the record label, we did it down in Columbia, Missouri. We all had a big dinner at some restaurant in Columbia. And Travis was kind of talking to the label and telling them, okay, this is what we're going to need. This is the format. And they were like, okay, we're in. And everything was history from there.
So, back to Black Walk, man. I don't want to get off this Black Walk.
Oh, man.
We stuck on the Tech thing. We can leave Tech alone.
Okay,
let's
leave
Tech alone, man.
Okay.
We talk about Black Walk.
Okay.
Right. Like you said, he gives his honest opinion.
Yes.
You said he got the distribution plugs.
Yeah, I mean, Walt.
Back in the day, who was he?
Who, Black Walt?
Yeah.
You know, I just know Walt from my music relationship.
That's what I'm saying. No, who was he? Because he
helped me get he had Illimath Entertainment, which was his record label. He was working with Casey Young Boss at that time. And when I signed with MW Pro, Walt was there to help me get, like I said, we drove from Kansas City to Kingwood, Texas, a suburb right outside of Houston, at Deep Distribution. Walt lined up my entire distribution, I did all my artwork there, everything. It was like a one-stop shop at this distribution company.
Yeah.
So I was able to. It was one of the guys really famous. He was a photographer for I want to say AC/DC, Nirvana. His name was last name was Branzel, and he's the one who did my first artwork and stuff. So it was really nice. You know, I can honestly say Walt made it a lot easier, and I'll probably go as far as to say, you know, without Walt's input, there would be no Monday 7E, because I probably would have ended up quitting music and just dealing with that. Yeah.
Who was he, man?
Man, he was like my mentor. He was a real brother to me, man, and somebody who really looked out for me. You know, I can honestly say, without Black Walt, I probably would have gave up on music, because I was already been signed to another label, but that label folded. It was called Street Appeal Records, and they were out of North Kansas City. And when I got signed with MW Pro, I mean, without Walt, I probably wouldn't have continued with music. I would have just stuck back with acting and stuff like that. So
straight up, huh?
Yep.
So he had he introduced you to that lady you said that was doing a distribution for like.
No, that was I met her when Tech did a thing for. They used to have a show on MTV called My Sweet 16, where these rich teenagers would have these extravagant parties.
I remember that.
Yeah, Tech was doing a My Sweet 16 in Long Beach, California. And
one of the kids was there.
Yeah, one of the kids, they were a fan of Tech. Okay. He talks about that girl, her name is Catherine Castro. Tech has a song called Like Yeah, and he talks about that situation with the whole MTV thing and stuff. But I was there for that. Me, Travis, Chris Calico, Cut Calhoun, Scenario, Travis.
You was there throughout the
the filming of them. Yeah.
Straight
I was
up.
there for the whole thing. And Mims, remember Mims? This Is Why I'm Hot.
Yeah.
He was there. He was. The girl wanted Tech Nine and Mims there for her birthday.
Really?
Yeah. And it was crazy because at the time I was on probation in Kansas City, and my probation officer was such an a-hole, and they're like, "There's two places you can't go: L.A. and Las Vegas." And I'm like, "Well, we'll fly into L.A., but we're going to be in Long Beach because the girl's dad had rented out that ship, the Queen Mary, which sits on somewhere down off the bay in Long Beach."
Yeah.
And so yeah, we had to bring all the paperwork from MTV, the whole 9 yards, and then they let me go. But I was only allowed to go, do the MTV thing, and come right back to Kansas City. And I think Calico and people from my label, they went to, the Chiefs were playing San Diego that weekend.
Yeah.
So they all got to go to the game, and I was on the airplane coming back to KC that night.
That was messed up.
Yeah, it was messed up. But my probation officer was a real jerk. So
Trust me, I know. I lived it.
Yeah.
I lived that life too, man. Probation and parole is the worst thing for anybody.
Oh,
to have to
man.
live through.
yeah, it was pretty
I hated
crazy.
that I ever had to live through that. You know. So at some point in time, you guys got together and started this Minority Report,
Right.
Yep.
And you said the Minority Report is your perspective and his perspective.
Yes.
So
It's our report. Yeah.
It's both y'all's report. So and that's why I spelled MY.
Yep.
My
Yep.
report.
Yep.
So what is it though? What is Minority Report? What is it?
You want me to start?
Yeah, sure.
It's like our view, not just on the music business, but our political views, our personal lives. I mean, we're both fathers. We're both friends. We're brothers. We're uncles. You know, it's just our report. We're like the CNN of alternative hip hop. You know, I don't consider us rappers. I consider us artists, and that's it. You know, because we're not doing the typical hip hop music. I don't consider myself a producer. I'm more of a composer because I like strings and I like brasses. Shoot, one of my songs from the first album, me and Michael Summers produced that, and he was one of the main producers at Strange. We use 86 instruments in one song, you know. So I try to take it to the next level sonically, and you know, we just want to be different and give our take on it. This is our report, something that we can own, and you know, and call it our own.
Yeah, and a lot of it, you know, coming from different cultures. You know,
cultures
it's really
and backgrounds.
kind of a different perspective of how we live and grew up different, you know, and everything. So it really brings a little dexterity to it as well. Different points of view, the politics, and really just our report, like we said, and just letting the world know, yeah, you know, we can spread two messages, you know, with what we got here rather than just one. And one not necessarily biased or anything, but more of, you know, our outlook on everything and look at the big picture, you know, and see what's going on around you.
That's amazing.
And, you know, some of the songs we got, you know, we talk about some stuff where, you know, we had trauma and stuff happen and stuff. And really just, just tell the story, but, you know, it's got to fit, you know, the concept and everything. And we try to complement each other as much as we can, you know, putting our verses on there on the concept and stuff to where, you know, it gives those different, it still tells the whole story, but it gives a little bit different perspective too. So it's nice. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Cause him being a Marine, you know, he has a different perspective on music, and we like to write what we know in our lives. So, you know, some of his references might be military references, you know. We're both Republican, but I'm leaning towards not being too much of a Republican anymore because I don't like the way that things are going. And we have different views on that. He's still my brother. You know what I'm saying? Honestly. But, you know, shoot. We have differences, but our differences gives us an opportunity to spread a bigger message. Yeah. You know, not just the whole, oh, he's white and I'm black. No, it's so much deeper than that. Deeper than that. Yeah, it's so much deeper.
And a lot of it is, you know, a lot of the experiences, you know, even though we grew up from different backgrounds and stuff, a lot of the same stuff has happened to us throughout our life. And we kind of ended up turning the same direction, you know, with the way the experiences that we've had in the past, and we could relate to each other on certain levels, you know, that just made it unique.
Like we both have lost our dads. And I was telling him, I said, when we went up to Colorado a couple weeks ago, we were on our way back, and he goes, I want to stop at my dad's grave. And I said, cool, let's do it, you know, because I want to meet him too, you know. And so when we get back to Kansas, where we live, I called him. I said, man, you know, there's these two red cardinals that's in my front yard. And these two red, and I told him, I said, man, I think that's our dads. They're letting me know that his dad, you know, met me and my dad. And I called him and I sent him a picture. I took a picture in my front yard. I have this tree, and the two cardinals are just sitting there looking at me. And they let me get out my phone, zoom in, and I sent him the picture, and I circled each cardinal, and I said, man, I told you, man, I think it's our dads letting us know, hey, you guys are all right, and what you guys are doing, you're supposed to be doing. It was like their approval. And I'm telling you, man, these cardinals come in my front yard every morning. If I'm standing out in my garage, they both let me see them. I mean, I'm talking about from like me to you.
No, I get like for real. 2 in my backyard.
For real?
Every day.
Yeah. That means there's good spirits around here, man. Yeah. It's good spirits, man. It would.
I say it's my angels.
Yeah, exactly.
The first one, when he flies by, I'm like, that's my brother.
Yep.
Like, what's up, bro?
Yep.
I see you. I love you too.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And I told him that. I said, man, those are our dads, man. They're hanging out, and they're letting us know that what you guys are doing is right, and they approve of it.
That's pretty cool that you guys use that. We both used it as a sign.
Yeah.
Because whatever I'm thinking about, when I see it, I'm like, okay, keep doing it. Do it. Even it could be a crazy thought. You know what I mean? And it's like, go with it.
Yeah, go with
That's my sign. When I see that cardinal,
I'm
like, oh, my little brother telling me to do it.
You know
what I mean?
Go with the instinct.
Yeah. That's pretty cool that you.
And not only that, I mean, I feel with this whole album that we just wrapped up on Volume 1. We're already working on Volume 2 right now. We got a good start to that. But everything, you know, that's happened over these past couple years with this album, it's like, man, what's going on? And, you know, we'd be looking around and like, and then all of a sudden, like the next day or the next week or the next hour or the next minute, it's just like something or somebody or something's put in our path, and it's just like, oh, well, it was meant to be, that we just hadn't met this person yet.
Like the other day, he was kind of down, and I called him, and I could hear it in his voice. He was just like, and I just showed him the bright side. And he's like, man, I'm so glad you called me. I had to tell my wife, you know, that I'm so glad that Monday called me because I was down, you know. And he's done the same for me, you know, because I'm a little bit more seasoned in this game. I've had a lot more sacrifices and stuff than he has. So he's even told me sometimes, man, everything's going to be cool. Don't worry about it, you know, because I'm kind of impatient. I'm a Cancer, so I'm really emotional, you know, about things I care about, my feelings a lot and shit. So, yeah, he's, you know.
All I gotta say is the word go.
Yeah, for real.
Ready to go.
Yeah, but yeah, we've both been each other's anchor during this whole process, and it's been tough. And we're trying to get this next album already done. That way it's done, because I got 4 screenplays that I'm working on. You know, I got movies. I don't want to, after Volume 2, I told him I don't want to do any more music. I want to strictly write movies. I told Tech the other day, I gave him a synopsis of one of the screenplays that I'm writing, a comedy and stuff. And, you know, I want to just write movies after this. I think with this Volume 2 album, I've said everything that I need to say as far as music.
You think they would help you with your music?
Who?
With the movie career?
I don't know. I think once I get the script done, I'm definitely going to shop it to them for sure. You know, that's for sure. And I think I got a good chance, you know. I think I got a good chance. I really do.
You know what's amazing about you guys when you say Minority Report and you're a Marine?
Yep.
So my brother's a Marine, right?
Uh-huh.
And we both like on two different ends of the spectrum.
Right.
But we grew up together.
Yep.
We just think we think like this.
You're
right?
the same, but
We're the
may
same.
have different views on everything.
On everything.
And,
so we argue a lot.
Yep.
Like, you know. So, but it's our arguments are always in a great place. Mm-hmm. It's always in a healthy. We have healthy arguments. You know what I mean?
Sometimes you just got to get it off your chest.
Yeah. And so when he went to the Marines and he went to San Diego and he got
Pendleton.
Camp Pendleton when he came out of there.
Yep, that's up north there.
We went to the strip club that night. He got out, right? Right. So as we go to walk down to the strip club, because they stay on like a little resort. So your family all stay in the same place. Basically.
There's everything down there.
So yeah, we walk down the strip club, right? And on the way to the strip club, the light turns yellow, and I bolted because I'm going across the street, man. I'm like, right, man, come on, bro, ain't no cars coming. So he waits till it turns red, and then he walks, and he comes when it's time for him to walk, and he says, "Man, they told me you civilians would be dumb." I was like, You call me a civilian? You know what I'm saying? And then they told you I was gonna be stupid? Like what? Like I'm like, wow, they brainwashed you, nigga. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? But to be honest with you though, the Marine thing was so cool for him because of his outlook on life now. You know what I mean? Like some of the people he knows, some of the relationships that he has, the things that he came out with. You know
Not only that, but I mean, just being around, the military, being in there, you literally meet people from all walks of life. You got people like, in my school, I had people from Chicago and stuff, and they had completely different backgrounds, and it's really weird meeting people from all those different places and everything, because you just get mashed into one, and by the time you leave, it's like a whole different feel, but you kind of learned a little bit that you didn't really know, from being around, people from all over the place,
different places in the world.
It just everybody has a different tick or something about them.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to force my son to go to college to catch that.
Yeah, I mean,
I told him, I said, bro, I'm gonna pay for the first year. Mm-hmm. You don't even need a scholarship. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna pay. Just go.
Yep.
Pick a college. I'm gonna pay for it.
Yep.
Just go. Just go. So you can meet them people, have that experience, or go to the service, and he don't want to go to the service.
Yeah, I'd say that's one of the good benefits that you get. Getting to. I mean, I got my associate's degree like that. After I got out, they paid for everything, so it was nice. But I mean, I think everybody should do at least 4 years for real, especially some of these people. The what?
In the service?
Oh yeah, I think everybody should do at least 4 years.
At least 4 years. Yeah.
Just somebody may not have the discipline, and this person may not know how to organize stuff, and this person may not know how to do this, but they're gonna learn everything there.
Yeah,
they might not have been taught, or they learn different.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy you say that, because I say every man needs to go do a 120.
120 that callback.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's sad. It's sad. I come from a crazy walk of life though, right? But what he just said was, some of them they lack discipline.
Yeah.
Some of them lacks order or lack
lack of respect.
Respect.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna learn that in that 120.
You sure are.
You gonna learn that in that 120. You don't need 4 years. You just need 4 months.
Yeah, that
over
120.
Here. Over here. You know what I mean? You gonna get some respect.
It's the same thing.
You're gonna learn some patience. But if you get 4 years of this.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it, it really is.
It's the same
in a way, probably the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a schedule just like the military.
Yeah, you're gonna man up too.
You got certain things you can and can't do.
Yeah.
And you got to deal with people around you and really take what they have into consideration. Just really learn the pecking order. There's a pecking order just like the military.
The only thing is different is when you guys get out, you get to carry your firearm and we don't.
Right.
That's messed up.
You know what I mean? Oh, you guys get health benefits too.
Yeah.
You get to go to the VA.
Yeah.
We don't get it. We don't get that either. No. We got
messed up.
Yeah, poor health, poor dental, poor health. It's all horrible. It's horrible for us over here. So the Minority Report. What made you guys name it that?
That was really a name that you had kind of had or came up with.
Yeah, I just felt that, we were gonna broadcast our report. This is our take on society, not just music, just everything. We're
really just stuck once you said it. It just kind of stuck. Minority Report, and we started saying it.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt like a minority?
I mean, there's been times that not probably anything that you guys probably experienced,
right?
But
right.
I mean, in a way, I grew up in the country, in Hutchinson, Kansas. Went to school at Bueller, so there was mainly white people everywhere. But I thought what was weird to me is I could talk to everybody, and it didn't matter to me. I never looked at people with the color of their skin. I just wanted somebody with a good personality, a good sense of humor. I just wanted to see the good in everybody,
People.
So I really. I could go up and talk to somebody that's black, somebody that's Mexican, white, myself. There was most of white kids that I went to school with. I didn't even hang out, with. I wasn't really a party animal. I was always on like the mentality of like my dad's friends. I liked hearing the stories and stuff that they're telling, but I know that there was some people, that just didn't, I don't know if it was just a culture. I was just trying to be a good person in general, when I went up to talk to somebody, I didn't have any ill intentions, if I got mad at somebody or they got mad at me, it is what it is. But,
I guess why I asked that, like when you got to the Marines, did you feel like, whoa, culture shock?
It was definitely a culture shock in itself, and it's crazy you say that because I just remember being so gung-ho to go to the military. And that was really the first time that, my dad, I had a brother and a couple other siblings in the military. They were all half siblings though, but that was really the first time with my dad. I had to stand up and be like, no, Dad, this is what I want to do. It was one of those moments you look back now and it's like I went from a kid to a man that day. Just kind of like something that I normally would have just been like, he's like, you're going to end up like your brother, PTSD, all this stuff. And that was a cool moment. And
standing up to your dad?
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily like we argued or anything. It was just one of those moments where I manned up and I just said something, like this is what I want to do. And as far as getting to the Marine Corps though, I remember, I signed up and I was gung ho about it. I had a friend, Carson Evans, I went to his going away party for the boot camp and everything, and that's where I really decided that I was going to do it. So I was like, well, he's already telling everybody. So I've been on the fence a little bit about it. Not really, but, I've been wanting to do it, get away. They say everything remains the same where you grew up. You never know your full potential until you get out of your comfort zone, leave where you may have grew up and really experience the world, So it was nice traveling. But yeah, I remember I got to boot camp. I was like, man, what did I get myself into? I'm just like up for like, I think when you first get there, you're probably up for like at least 2 days straight. Yeah. By the time and I'm not even talking at boot camp. I'm talking like from the time you get to the airport, you've been up like that whole morning, that whole day. You get there at the USO, you're waiting for the bus to come get you to put you on the yellow footprints. Yeah. So you've been up that whole day already. They keep you up all night. You go to chow in the morning and you're like, dang, it's already 5 a.m. We're going to eat breakfast. And it was just really a culture shock for real. But then once you get in the squad bays and the stuff and you really start getting in the routine, they teach you. I'm sure you guys have the same experiences, but they really, break you down in whatever you don't think for yourself. You talk in third person. You don't refer to yourself at all. You're like this recruit, whatever, type stuff. But they really break you down and really
Build you back up.
Build you back up by the end. And but yeah, it was definitely, I liked it. You know, a lot of discipline. I already had that, but I mean, I learned the organization. I was already like OCD about some stuff. You know, like my shirts and stuff got to be in color order and everything, and T-shirts and cutoffs and all that.
Oh yeah.
You know,
You like organized like that?
oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Something's out of place, I'll be moving it like, oh, that picture's crooked on the wall.
Funny. You know it's funny. The first part of your story, that day, that whole day, not being able to sleep, the whole 2 days, that's like going into prison.
I mean, that's probably what, holding and
holding,
yeah. Especially during COVID, that must have sucked because they had to quarantine for like 2 weeks too.
Oh, I would have hated it.
Man.
Hey, but my celly, he had OCD, right? So I would just walk in the room and I would just move his like his toiletries, like his shower stuff.
Oh man.
Like his soaps and shit, you know what I mean? Shampoo and shit. I would just like, it'd be in the window, right? And I would just slide it over, scoop that over there, grab his headphones off his TV. He have them on this side. I set them on that side. You know what I mean?
You know, I've even went so far as a couple times, you know, moving something slightly so that I know it's turned a certain way. There's a certain wood grain on the table that it's touching.
Bro,
and if somebody moves it, I'm like, who moved this? And I'll be trying to find out who moved it.
Yeah. Bro, that's him. That's him. Yeah. And I would, and to be honest with you, I would just move some stuff small sometimes. And he would come in, hey man, stop touching my stuff, man. I'll be like, this is great. And I used to tell him this, bro, we going home. You got to break this. You can't do this to your wife.
Right.
You can't do, you know what I mean? Don't do this to these women, man. Don't go home and do this to these women.
Right.
Man. Talking about don't touch your soap.
I tell you what,
you know what I'm saying? Don't do that.
I tell you what, I can have a box of bolts and there'd be one part in there for a vehicle that I might need. And if somebody was to move that part and I go back, like that thinking, like I'd be like, oh, it's in that or a drawer that's messed up, and I know that there's something certain in there, and it's just weird stuff like that I catch on, and I'll be going in there like, oh, I got one of those here, and nobody else would ever find something like that except me, you know, that thought of that, where like, or something in the house, you know, my wife moved something. I'd be like, I know that was right here in this clutter right here, you know, in this drawer. Because everybody's got a drawer in the house that everything goes into.
Yeah.
It was right here. It was right here.
I knew it was right under here.
It was right here. No, I left it. Stack of pens right here. I left it here.
Yeah.
I seen it here the other day.
That's what you said. Yeah, I you know, when we first met it, you know, it was, I had a love for music, and you know, he even hit on it earlier. But he really inspired me. I was really excited. I loved his music. Now I met him, and then we, you know, our wives, you know, grew up together and everything. But he really inspired me. And like he said, he was ready to move on to screenplays. He was done with music, and it's like when we got together and started. I mean, I think within the first 7 days. I was already from Texas back up here to Kansas City, and we were in the studio for the first time.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. No lies.
Yeah.
And you record with wood grain?
Yeah.
Most of the time?
Primarily because, I'm just comfortable with him. Yeah. You know, he's not the easiest guy to work with sometimes, but I love working with him.
You know what wood grain did to me?
What'd he do?
Man, bro, for real, bro, this is crazy. This is a wild story. One time I went to Wood Grains and I showed up and I asked him about the recording process thing, like the studio, and he looked at me and he was like, "Bro, don't nobody normally ask me stuff like that." And he was like, I thought he thought I was weird because the way he was like, people don't ask me that, man." He was kind of like, "Watch out." Right. So I felt weird about it. So when I seen him again, I asked him a similar question, like, "So what happens when you do this and the meters is doing that and it's doing that?" He was like, you know, he answered it and he told me and he let it go. And then so a few weeks later, I'm like, "Bro, how do I get this program to run this to get my own studio?" He was like, "Shit."
Yep.
Gave it straight to me, bro.
Yeah.
I still own a studio today because of Wood Grain doing that to me that day. And I thought he kept looking at me weird, but you know he's always working.
Yeah.
So and his mind is on. He's on that track.
Like 10 things at once.
Yeah, and I'm thinking he's shunning me off, bro. But he's not. In his mind, he's like, "Oh, you want to get into this?
Yeah, you really want to do?
You
this.
really want to do this, huh? I got you."
I tell you what, he'll be cutting something or doing 5 things on the computer, and then you say something to him. You think, like you said, you don't hear you, but he heard every word.
Yeah.
Dude's got like 5 different ears. Listen to everything.
Yeah, I like Wood Grain.
Yeah, me too.
He's amazing, man. He's a sound geek.
I've been working with him for 18 years. Yeah. 18, 19 years.
Really?
Probably. Yeah, a long time.
Okay, so we've been recording you all the time, huh?
Yeah, back when he was out on 95th, South Kansas City.
What's the biggest record you think you've done?
I haven't done it yet.
That's volume 2.
That's volume 2. Haven't done it yet.
Have you met Tech?
Yeah. It was what, Shocker Madness.
Yeah,
That's
Shocker
what it was.
Madness. Yep.
At the Shocker Arena.
Yep. He drove up that day. I called him that morning.
Yep.
I'm like, "Hey man, I'm gonna go hang out with Tech." And I said, "Come on out, man. I want you."
Oh yeah, that was the night before, and I drove. I think I got to your house probably 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah. Then we went that next day. Yep. So it was pretty cool.
That's what's up, man. It's good to have a friend that can just take you to meet Tech. No, man.
For real. I mean,
Like, hey, you want to meet Tech? Hell yeah! What the fuck? I'll be there in the morning. I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going home. I'm coming to see you. How many states away? I'm on my way.
not only that, but I think it's just we're always chomping at the bit to get together and work on stuff.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's always a good time for us.
Yeah, it is.
Whether we're
It really is.
talking to Medicine Man or whoever it may be.
Right.
I got a little brother. Where we always want to get together and do music or videos, or it's just like we're dying to get. So when we get together, bro, we just get hella shit.
Yes.
We do hella shit. You know what I mean? We at the studio shoot music videos, doing podcasts. Like man, bro, we do hella
Just
shit
such
when we
a
get together.
productive time.
It's such a productive time.
Yes.
Our energy together. You know what I mean? When we record music, he knows when he records way more than me, right?
Right.
So when he's there, I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to put on, right? When I'm there, he records 10 songs. Right. You know what I mean? So he's in there like, damn, big homie out there, all right, cool, watch this. And he's in there making music for me. You know what I mean? So me and my little brother, we have a lot of fun like that though. So I understand what you guys are saying. That you take advantage of that moment.
Yes, we do.
To work. Because it's we call it getting the pot bubbling. Once the pot starts bubbling, we working.
For real.
We working. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So what's the work process on the music with you two? What's the music work process? How do you guys do that?
Man,
like pick a beat?
I hear it in my head. A lot of times I'll hear the beat in my head first. Sometime the chorus will come first. And I'll call him. I'm like, dude, I got this song concept. Like, for instance, and I'll just show you what I'm talking about here. All right. And this is just this phone. I have 5 other phones that I don't use anymore. But this is how many song concepts I have just in this phone. 640? Yeah, 640. Shit. Country, heavy metal, alternative hip hop, gospel.
I do that too.
You know what I'm saying?
Different.
Yeah.
I do it different. So that's cool you do that, man. That's really cool. Because I thought I was the only person who does that. I used to do just sound bites, right? But now what I do is I find a beat because I got a bunch of beats in my phone, right? So to remember the name of the beat, I'll turn this phone on and push record, right? And I do my sound bite like that off the video thing. So therefore I know what beat it is.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
see, with those are like, I'll hear the beat. Like I'll be like, okay, it's a violin that comes in here, and then the lead guitar is gonna come, and I'll literally take a verbal note. Okay, then the bass line comes in. You know, it's just.
And I know we be standing in the garage, and you just start beatboxing, and I'll kind of join in a little bit with boom, boom, with some of the strings and stuff, and then before we know it, we're spitting some lyrics to something, and we're like, coming up with some more concepts
yeah.
for some fun stuff. And
yeah, we do that a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It is.
Do you guys ever record yourself?
No.
Not as much on that.
No.
You know, that's just kind of the ideas and like the thought process and the rough draft, kind of like going through stuff.
If y'all start recording yourselves, man, when you in the garage doing that, if you recording yourselves doing that, you get a whole lot done. Like
we should do
that.
We
gotta start doing that for sure.
Like we're doing a song called Mother, which stands for Music Observed Through Heaven's Eternal Realm. I literally dreamed that song. I woke up at 4 a.m. dreaming about that song. And I said, okay, Mother's going to be an acronym for those words. And the song is based on music being the mother of us all. She comforts us when we're sad, when we're happy, you know, and man. And plus it gives him an opportunity to do some screaming on the mic.
Man, that hook. That hook's going to be insane.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
That one's going to be...
I think that's going to be a big record.
You said some screaming on the hook?
Yeah, it's going to be dope.
Like on some like metal almost.
Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, like what was that other reference?
What do we say? Korn, wasn't it? Was it Korn?
No, it was I can't even remember now. But yeah, it's gonna be on. Man, that Mother is gonna be huge.
Yeah, I'm looking so for. We haven't even started production on
Sebastian
it yet.
Bach.
Yeah, Sebastian Bach.
On that.
Yeah, that's who we said. Yeah.
So you say that again. Mother stands for what? What's that?
Music observed through heaven's eternal realm. The good in music, you know, and the type of music that lasts forever, timeless. Yeah, and
Like
that's what Mother is, and it's about the concept behind it is like me finally being able to get off the porch. I'm finally at the level where music is saying, okay, now I'm going to let the rest of the world hear you. You've been doing it in the house this whole time. Now Mother's going to let you out. Okay. You know, I had to earn it.
Okay.
You know, there's no more restrictions.
Okay. So I was thinking more like...
It's gonna have like the pull of the universe behind it type feel.
Mother, like the Virgin Mary, like the mother of music. Like,
well, that's not too far off. That's not too far off.
Like that.
Yeah, it's not too far off because it's totally spiritual.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Yeah, you're spot on. Actually,
I was thinking that when you said what's the acronym again? Say it again.
Music observed through heaven's eternal realm.
Through heaven's eternal realm.
Because I want to do good music. I don't want to do anything that's going to perpetuate anything negative. So I want to, you know, Mother, like I've had for all my life, music has been like, you hear people say, oh man, I listened to this song and it saved my life. I can't say that's ever happened to me, but it certainly has let me see things in a different perspective or given me some insight on how I should handle a situation. And it's been a comfort to me, just like a mother does. Mm-hmm. And music is mother to us all, you know, whether it's gospel, rock, rap, whatever the case may be.
Make us all feel good.
Yeah, you know, yeah. So...
That's pretty cool.
That's the concept behind that, and it's gonna be a big record, I think.
I actually love concept music. All my songs have a concept.
Yeah, man.
I don't like to just like make music.
Yeah, for real.
Just to just rap and just like, when the kids do that, I'll be like, oh my God, I know. What the fuck?
For real.
You know what I'm saying? There's no substance in this.
I feel the same way, man.
Substance
no
in this,
substance.
I tell you what, that's what I love the most about some of the Midwest music is just, you know, anybody can make a catchy song with one lyric or something, but really being able to tell the story is a big part of it too. Yep.
Being able to tell a story.
Yep.
If you could tell a story on a song, you a bad motherfucker.
Portray it.
Yeah. And bring it to life. Put the picture to it.
Yep.
Exactly.
Like, take a blank canvas and paint a perfect picture.
Yep.
If you can do that with music, you got it. You got it. That's what I like to focus on, actually.
And not only that, but being able to put some good metaphors and really get some some substance in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah. You know what? If you ever listen to any of my music, there's always going to be some type of substance you're going to remember.
Yeah.
Like, he said that.
Yeah.
And not only that, but I love it when you can listen to a song, and anybody can make a song for somebody to listen to, but to put it in a way that makes them think like, oh, that's what he meant, or even at this, or even the terminology and the cultural differences, type stuff, but really being able to read into it a little bit more, and some of it, it's like it could mean this, it could mean that. It's however you take it.
Right.
It's
however you take it. It's however you take it. You're right.
Perception is reality.
Exactly.
The perception is always different in some people's eyes.
Yeah, that is so true.
Because like the way you said you perceived mother, I perceived it different, but it was the same.
Sure was.
Man. Yeah, that mother thing is pretty cool.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be a big record. When I get it done, I'm definitely we're gonna bring it over so you can hear that.
Man.
Yeah, I would like to hear that. Man.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice.
That sounds pretty cool. How do you guys get your beats?
I get a producer and comes from my head.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Every now and then I might get a beat from a producer. Like last couple songs, we've worked with this guy out of St. Paul, Minnesota. And he's been doing some really good stuff. So
you composed the beat?
Yeah.
Like you say, man, I need these strings, I need these guitars.
Yeah, I hear it.
Boom, bass, boom, boom.
Yeah. Like just since we've been doing this podcast, I've thought of like 15 different songs. Like I'll be talking to him and he'll think, man, are you paying attention? I'm like, yeah, but I'm also doing this song in my head. But I've heard everything you said, I don't know. It's just like this weird gift that I have. Like, even right now, while I'm talking right now, I'm literally thinking of lyrics.
That sounds like Jay-Z.
Really? Jay-Z does that?
What?
I didn't know that. I'm not a fan of Jay-Z, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really know.
I understand that. But here's the question. How do you do your verses? When you come time to do your verse, you just do it? Do you just like already have it in your head, or do you like break it down?
I like to write it down in most cases. Now I have been lucky, like the song Mother, I literally dreamed that song, and I woke up from the dream, went straight to the garage and wrote the song, wrote the chorus and the first verse. But most of the times, I like to write it. It's something about putting that pen to the paper that moves me more, especially if I'm on something that I'm really passionate about. It's just like, sometimes it's like I'm not even writing it. It's like something else is guiding my hand, I would say.
I've seen this dude not be able to write fast enough for what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's just pen in the pad, just
it's just
as
like,
hard as you can.
It's like almost like some maniac, just like...
Matthew, the maniac taking over.
It gets weird sometimes.
You write like that?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's
like crazy. I have like 3,200 song concepts or something like that, like 3,400. Something like that. Yeah, like all different genres. Yeah.
When are you going to start recording them?
Man,
don't you get like so okay, you got 640
just in that phone.
So like,
and like 15 notebooks that are full.
At what point in time do you say like, okay, I want to make this kind of song? Oh, that's record 392. Let me go hear that.
It just because it's like every day there's something new. And I always look at it like this.
Do you ever go back and play them is what I'm saying?
Yeah, sometimes I'll be like, man, I remember I was working on this. And then I'm a father of 19 biological children. I have 12 sons and 7 daughters. So I always try to keep this stuff. So maybe later on down the line, one of my sons or a grandson later on down the line will be like, hey, I want to go through grandpa's recordings and maybe I can find something.
19 biological
12 boys, 7 girls. Yep. All of them playing too. Yes.
What you mean playing?
I've planned on having every last one.
You planned them?
Every last one. Except for one of my sons. I didn't find out he was my son until he was like 10 years old, to be honest with you. But the other 18, all planned.
Really?
Yes.
You planned on doing this.
Yes. Well, my mom, and I don't remember this, but I guess when I was, a lot of things happened to me when I'm 7, hence the reason why I'm probably Monday 7E. My mom said when I was 7 years old, I would literally walk around the house and tell my mom, when I grow up, I'm going to have 20 kids. I'm going to have 20 kids. She's like,
oh, you still working on one.
Might happen, you know.
Man, if you go by 7s, that leaves it at 21.
Yeah, I need to do
a couple
21.
more.
Two more maybe.
You might want to chill.
Yeah.
You might want to chill.
It's kind of the coolest.
You got the grandkids now.
No, I just have one. I have one grandchild, my little grandson, yeah.
Well, yeah. 2 more of those is 21.
I know. Well, actually, I have a son 3 months older than my grandson. That's crazy. I have a 1-year-old son.
Yeah, they're gonna be uncle.
Yeah.
Uncle. Hanging out with his uncle.
Yeah.
My son and his auntie.
We have that in our family too.
My nephew that just passed away at the age of 30, that's how we were.
Yeah.
He was born in January. I was born in April.
Yeah.
And you're his uncle.
Yep. I'm his uncle.
That's crazy.
I wasn't even here yet.
Right.
My son and his auntie, they're out getting drunk right now. 18 years old, somewhere doing something they ain't supposed to.
Right.
He's with his auntie.
Yep.
They're the same age. I don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean? They being badass kids somewhere. You know, but that's I guess that's life, huh?
Yeah, that's life, man.
That's just life.
That's just life.
My sisters actually have an auntie their same age too, like an uncle younger than them.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen to me. I didn't. My mom stopped. You know what I'm saying? Thank God that didn't happen to me. My grandparents kind of gave up. I'm the youngest too, so it's kind of it would have been hard for them.
I'm the youngest too.
I'm the youngest. Yeah, out of 7.
I'm the youngest too. Okay. My dad was 30 years older than my mom, so I got brothers and sisters older than my mom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think that's
weird?
So I just had a baby at 36, right? When I was 36, I just had a child. And the little motherfucker's a genius. For real, man. He's a genius, man. And what I'm getting to is, you think your dad being up in such an old age is part of the reason why you're such
Well, I'll tell you. Back when I was born, my mom let me do a musical study. The babies that were born the day before me, the babies that were born on June 27th and June 28th, the college was holding a music study for infants, where we got to stay at the hospital for an extra like 7 days, and they played all different genres of music. So I think that kind of had an effect on me too, because I did a music study as an infant.
For 7 days.
For 7 days, yeah. I know everything is wrapped around this 7, man.
Dude, and that's what's
He's met my mom. Well, everything I'm telling you is true.
Not only that, but just look at the albums that you did before. We've worked together, and everything still ties into.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man.
He's got songs where he said, "G's coming."
Yeah,
you gotta come that 1001s.
And I didn't even know him.
Yep.
It's weird.
Like all the astronomy and everything, the planets, the universe, all that stuff. And
I use a lot of astrology in my music. You know, I'm a star child, so I always look to the sky for answers. Sometimes
a star child.
Yeah, I'm an indigo.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I don't trip off religion too much, because I'm an indigo. So we're naturally trying to save the world, just by nature. And it's all has to do with the stars. Like, I have 19 children. I've been looking to see which one of my kids is going to be a crystal child or an indigo. And like I think one of my last 2 might be. I don't know yet. I still have to wait and see. But
can you define indigo?
I'm gonna have to let you read up on it, because there's a possibility you could be indigo. You just have never read up on that.
What is like the gist of an indigo?
Indigo is a special person who we're prophets. We're spiritually connected. I think if there's any human that can probably harness the wind and be able to fly, it would be an indigo that would match that. A lot of us start out as a crystal child, which is just a special child. When we're kids, a lot of adults might say, "Oh, he's bad, he's bad." Well, being a true indigo, there's a natural defiance that's just bred into you. And it's not defiance in being bad. It's like, hey, I have a different way of thinking about that situation. It's not like yours. I'm not going to take that way around. I'm going to take the direct route. You know, I'm not going to not go through the swamp. I want to go through the swamp because I'm going to teach the alligators something, you know, instead of going around that way, you know. So, you know.
I'm going to teach the alligators.
Yeah. And we're you know, we're just special, man. Like, as a kid, I used to swear up and down.
That sounds like me.
For real, you know. You know, it's
I'm gonna go through the swamp and teach the alligators something.
Yeah.
They said, "Hey, no, it's a bridge up there." Now I gotta go show them.
I gotta go show them something, man. Shoot.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But you say indigos more believe in astrology.
Yeah, read up on it, man. You're probably gonna learn a lot about yourself. If not about yourself, your children, your parents, you know. Like I said, man, it's one of those things where I was telling him not too long ago, I used to would set certain things on the table like this or something, and I would just concentrate on it. I'll tell you a story. I was dating this girl from Kansas City. I was working with X1 Productions, a company out of Brunswick, Georgia. I was doing some directing and writing some playwrights and stuff. And this lady I was 19 at the time. She was 18. She had broke up with me. And this back when she had a house phone and stuff. And she had called my sisters. And my sister was living in Hinesville, Georgia at the time. And that's back when you could dial *67. And she calls me. And she's like, I said, man, why don't you give me your number? Because I was super in love with this girl. She's like, I can't give you the number. My mama said I can't give it to you. And I'm like, if I guess it, will you at least tell me if I'm correct? And she goes, what do you mean? I said, if I guess the number, will you at least tell me if I'm correct? She goes, yeah, because you're not finna guess the number. My mama just had it changed yesterday. And I just thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I said, and I just gave her the numbers. She hung up on me. She calls me back. She says, how did you know my number? I said, man, I just summoned it. I had to have it. I love you. I had to have your number. And she told her mother, and her mother let me keep the number. She said, if that boy really guessed my number, he's supposed to have it. You know? I used to,
so anything you put your mind to, you can accomplish it.
Pretty much. I just let certain things distract me, you know? I let certain things distract me, whether it's myself. I get in my own way, you know? Yeah. I don't worry about anybody else stopping me from doing anything. I'm my worst critic. I'm my worst enemy.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We get in our own way.
I kill myself every time.
Yeah, me too, man.
Overthinking it.
Yep.
Overthinking it.
Yep.
That's the biggest problem.
Yep.
Sometimes you just gotta do it.
Yeah, you just gotta do it, man. Just gotta do it. And trust. And I now, and like I told him, I've been more excited, even though I haven't been able to have some of the monetary success that I've had in the past with music, but this has been one of the funnest times making this records and doing music over this last couple of years. I've literally enjoyed it.
That's what it's about. When you
enjoy it, I really enjoy it now.
Because back in the day, y'all was working.
Yeah, it's working, and it was more about the money and this and that. And now it's just like, man, I really do like this. I'm in love with it again.
How was y'all making money back in those days?
Man, I was,
you said doing features. No shows.
Yeah, no, I just got lucky, man. I just got so lucky. Like my story, I tell him all the time. I said, this story has to end with me getting an Oscar or a Grammy, and then it's going to all make sense. It only makes sense if I can get those two things, because the story is incredible. It's unheard of. It's unorthodox. It just doesn't happen. You know, it's the weirdest thing, man.
The story
only works if the ending is right. And that's what now I'm like.
You're working for the ending.
I'm working for the ending, man. I want
to put that song together.
Yes. Then it all makes sense. All the struggle, all the blood, sweat, and tears, all the everything. It ends right there, you know?
I never looked at it like that.
Yeah. The story has to make sense, you know? And I'm not going to stop until it makes sense. I'm directing my own ending in this. Because, like I told him, I was done with music. You know, music. My one goal was I want to have my CDs in Walmart and Target and Best Buy. All right, I did that. Didn't have the financial success I really wanted, but that was my bucket list. Now I want to get to what I really want to do, and that's write movies. So I'm doing this not only because Minority Report gives me a new leash on music, and I'm able to do things in this group that maybe I wasn't too comfortable doing as a solo artist. Mm-hmm. You know, so this is kind of opening up some different doors for me too. But like I told G's, I'm like, we're going to do volume 2. I want to get it written as fast as possible, even though we're not going to get it out. And then I'm just doing movies from now on. I don't want to do any more songs. You know, it's so rough when I can't even have a conversation sometime with my lady. And I'm thinking, I'm listening, but man, I done thought of 4 different songs. I can't wait till she gets done so I can go and write this down because my brain never stops. Never stops.
So you think just because you finish this album is going to stop, that's going to stop happening to you?
No, it's not. But I'm going to have to
deflect it.
I'm going to have to deflect it with the screenwriting. I'm going to have to, man, because the shit is like,
I got something else to do.
Just gonna have to have
that.
Yeah,
I ain't got time for that. I can't do that right now.
Yeah. It's hard, man. Like, and I don't know. It could possibly be something to do with ADHD. I don't know. I don't know. It's probably all kinds of shit. But I know that since I've been a kid, I just hear like, man. Wednesdays we're gonna have to talk. I got some really cool stuff to share with you, man. Like. Really cool stuff. You know, like people believe in like God and Jesus, right? It's different when you've actually met him. It's different when you actually have met him and given the opportunity to go to heaven right there or stay.
Come on, Monday.
Man, listen.
Dude, he told me the story and I was like, dude,
listen, let me tell you something.
The story just changed.
No, listen, let me tell you something. I have a scar in the back of my head right now that I got when I was 5 years old. I fell down some concrete stairs. And this is real talk. My drunk uncle was watching my sister and I. My parents went out on a date. My uncle, because he was so drunk, my sister was 9 at the time. She could look through my skull and see my brain. My uncle told me, boy, go lay down. I go lay down. Next thing I know, me and some God is watching me, okay, on the bed. And we're sitting Indian style, and we're looking at me, and he says, do you want to stay or do you want to go to heaven with me? Me being a little brother, I said, can Nay, which is my sister's nickname, can Nay come with us? He said, no, she can't come right now. I said, well, I don't want to go. I want to stay. My parents come home like 2 hours later. My head had already started to heal. My mom sees all this blood on the bed. Like I'm literally bleeding out. My sister's telling my mom when they come in, Edward's whole head is busted open, mama. He's going to die. That's what my sister's telling me. My parents run in the room. I'm laying on the bed, blood everywhere. My mom gets a towel, starts wiping my head, and it had already started to heal. You can look at my head to this day. And this was on a 5-year-old's head. My grown man had the scar still this long. So at 5, it was like my whole thing was split open. It healed in a matter of hours. I never had to go to the hospital, ER, or nothing, because I was given the opportunity to go to heaven or stay. And I chose to stay. Real talk, man. Real talk. My sister was 9. She was very smart. That is your brain. I'm looking at your brain, and I didn't know, you know, but I was given a choice to stay or go to heaven right then. You know, it's kind of weird, but it's true. My parents remember it just like it was yesterday. Well, rest in peace, my dad's gone, but my mom remembers that.
And you don't believe in a God?
Oh yeah, I believe that there's several gods. I believe there's a overlord God that is the creator and boss of it all. But I believe there's the music gods, the hustling gods. I believe in all that. It just depends. Because believe me, some of the things that I was doing back in the day with the lifestyle I was leading,
it was a God.
There was definitely a God watching out for me. Yeah. And he wasn't the God that's sitting up in church every day. He was that other God that was like, all right, I'm going to spare you this time. You know, I done been sitting in a car and bullets are flying through the doors, the windows, and everything. And my God told me, just stay still. Don't try to duck. Don't try to move. Don't do nothing. Just be still.
He didn't have that for you.
Yeah, you know, so, yeah, I believe there's several different gods, you know. I believe there's an indigo God. I say it in my music all the time. I'm an indigo, so things are a little bit different. I'm working with a little bit something different.
Who's the indigo God?
Man, it's a bunch of us. You know, they talk about the Bible. They said there's that 140,000 people that supposedly are going to be left. If that is true, I think it'll be the indigos that are here. I mean, it's weird. I say it like I said, what's the intro to Saga Continues, Redmond?
Unleash It?
No, where I say you have named your son Jace.
Oh.
I named my son Jace because it stands for Jesus arrives, come everyone. You know, I predicted this stuff even before my son was born. I didn't know if I was going to have one son, let alone 12. You know, it's just weird, man. You know.
You got to meet Jace too.
You got to meet my son Jace. He's a hell of an artist.
You got 12 tribes.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of the
really?
intro to Unleash. No, I was thinking of the intro to Unleash.
Yep.
That one's hard.
You got 12 tribes.
I think so, man.
That's amazing. No, that's amazing, bro. I remember this one guy told me one time, man, keep having kids, man. Your kids are that beautiful. Keep having them. Mm-hmm. Have 20 of them.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? I can't afford them.
Man, I just feel like God is. I don't know.
You sound like you proud of yours.
Man,
I ain't too proud of
it's
mine.
my great. You know, I got a couple of them that are knuckleheads. Don't get me wrong. I got a couple of them that are real knuckleheads, but I can't really. I blame them for some of their behaviors, but I think there were certain things that I could have done as a father to maybe get a different outcome, and not to take any responsibility from me, but a couple of their mothers let them get away with things that I wouldn't have let them get away with had I been in the household with them. I've been in all of their life since birth, but some of them, you know, live with their mothers. That was their custodial parent, and I could have my view over here at my house, but as soon as they got back to their mother, it's like, oh, your dad's just being mean. Yeah. You're okay. You don't have to not go to your friends, or, you know, you're fine. So now some of those moms are paying the consequence for them not letting me be their guidance, you know?
Yeah.
But what do we do, you know? I didn't have the luxury of living in the same household. That's why my new relationship now is so important to me, because I literally, and not that the other ones weren't, but it's different this time because I'm definitely going to be there the whole time, 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
You're trying that. Yeah, that's a commitment to yourself.
Yes.
Nobody else.
Yeah, to myself.
They come to you first.
Yep.
You first.
Yep.
That's a good commitment.
Yep.
You know,
that's exactly it.
I actually have that same commitment. I have 3 kids, one by one woman.
Right. Okay.
And they've never seen me with another woman, and they never seen her with another man.
That's what's up.
You know what
that's what's up. And that's how my latest relationship is too. And I want to keep it like that.
Yeah.
Keeps it in perspective and pure. That purity that we need for success.
Sometimes I catch my son doing stuff. I'm like, man, Why would you do that, man? What the hell? Man, what the fuck, man? Is you stupid? You know what I mean? He's just he crazy stuff. He does crazy stuff, right? And when I break it down to him, he's like, man, Dad, I never looked at it like that. He said, my friends, we around the corner doing that at their house. I'm like, well, yeah, y'all niggas need to stop.
Right.
And whoever letting y'all do it, you need to go around there and tell them quit doing that shit. Yep. Cause that ain't how it go. And he was like, well, Dad, don't nobody tells them that. They don't know. You know what I mean? He was like, my friends don't know. I'm like, now you know. Go tell them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that.
Yeah,
you know
that's right, man.
I realize how important it is for the man to be in the house with
it is, man,
with the children.
Not only that, but we got big dreams for the little ones.
Yep. That's the truth, man.
Oh man, my son don't want to do none of that. He don't want none of that.
Guys don't have a choice.
He don't want none of these big dreams. I want him to go to college. He don't want none of that.
Yep.
He don't want none of that. He wants to hang with the homies.
You know what? That means you just got to pray a little bit more.
Yep.
Pray a little harder.
You got to pray a little bit harder. Man. You know, and see, my view on prayer, I believe prayer is the most powerful thing.
Talk your talk.
For instance, I was telling this Chuck Singleton, a friend of mine who I bought a car recently from, and he was telling me that he had to go have surgery on his elbow and stuff. And I said, Chuck, have you ever just prayed about it? He said, no, the doctors are telling me I need to go have surgery. I had something wrong with this shoulder years ago. And I mean, I literally couldn't even lift this up. That's how bad it was. I go to the doctor, they take an x-ray. They're telling me how many ligaments I tore and all this. And I'm like, well, could I do the surgery awake? Because I have a phobia about being put to sleep. So the doctor's like, no, your body would go into shock. We can't give you enough numbing agent to, no, you would have to go under. And I said, well, I just want to pray about it. I just want to pray about it. And so I just prayed about it, specifics. I think a lot of times people pray, but I think in order to be heard, you have to be specific. It's like, I mean, how am I going to be more specific about how I want my hamburger made with no pickle, light mayo, little mustard, no ketchup, well done? But my prayer is like, yeah, God, just please bless me. Thank you, Jesus. Amen.
Yeah.
No, be more specific in your prayer. Yeah. Like I literally have my prayers down to the letter. Like, I don't want it to be no confusion. God, this is what I'm asking you for specifically. I'm not going to generalize it. This is what I'm asking for. And I think that's where a lot of people's prayers get missed, because they're not specific in their prayer. They generalize it. And I think God is like, well, you're gonna take more time ordering your cheeseburger or telling the cook how you want your steak than you're telling me about how you want me to fix your situation.
That's dope you said that.
You know what I'm saying? And people really do.
That's dope you said that. But you know, I feel as if I have a calling, I guess you would call it, an obligation. And so my prayer is mainly about, I always say, thank you for blessing me. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Yep. Thank you for blessing me with your will, your grace, and your mercy. Even though I don't deserve the 3, you still give them all to me. Yep. But I also ask for wisdom and guidance and understanding.
Yep.
To lead your people.
Yep. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because I like to lead by example.
Well, I had a good vibe because Redmond will tell you, I'm not one that likes to do this. You know what I'm saying? And I will admit, when Redmond, because I trust him so much, obviously I'm going to say, oh yeah, I'll do it. But when I came in here, I liked the vibe. I said, there's good spirit here. Okay. I like it. There's good spirit here. Because, I mean, when we pulled up next to you, remember, Redmond, when we first got here, I pulled up next to him and I was going to tell him, hey man, how about we just do this tomorrow? No, seriously. And I said, no, just let me go. And then when I came in, I felt good. and the vibe was good.
I'm sorry about all the cars outside.
No. It has nothing to do with that. I just, like I tell him all the time, I say, man, spiritual health is wealth.
Yeah.
I just like a person will lift weights to get their body strong.
You gotta exercise your spirit.
You gotta exercise your spirit. Yeah. Like there was he and I had some things that he was going through, and I told him my perspective, and he used those tools, and now things are so much better spiritually in his household, in his heart. It's so much better because I'm like, no, dude. Because I told him from day one, I said, hey, I don't even care if we're not doing songs. We have to spiritually be supportive of each other.
In our families.
In our families.
Everyone around us. Yep.
I could tell my significant other, the moon's made of cheese. She'll grab a box of crackers and get to stepping. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how much she believes in me. 1,000%. And I've had rich women, poor women, great looking, not so great looking, whatever. But I've never had one of her. And I got 12 baby mamas. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you got the one.
I thought I'd had it all.
You got the one now.
Yes, man.
You made it.
Yes,
you
man.
struck gold.
Man.
Ain't nothing like a good woman.
Man, there's nothing like a good woman.
Not only that, but just having a good woman that's going to give you that same energy and positive feedback and give it right back to you, but literally be your rock.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know?
So I got a question.
What's that?
When you said you first pulled up, what was the bad feel that you got?
It wasn't a bad feeling.
What was it?
It was like
more like the sensors are just going out.
It's like, okay, I'm in first of all, I don't really like to do interviews. I did the one with architects, and it's one of those things where I just have never wanted to do like interviews and stuff. I did one for the record label when I was signed to MW Pro. I did architects to Redmond, and I even told Redmond, I said, I'm really not wanting to do that. I'd rather just put all that information in my music. So there was a time when we had pulled up, or even before we left, I asked him, you remember when I asked you, hey, is that the podcast guy? And you're like, yeah, I'm talking to him right now. Or you think you were texting him or something. And I was going to try to cancel then. And something just told me, no, I think you need to do this. Yeah. And then once I met you and you made me feel super comfortable, okay. I know you had a good spirit, and I was like, oh, I can let my guard down. Okay. It's good spirits in here. Okay. I feel good. He has nothing but good intentions. Yeah. And then I just was able to let my guard down. Yeah. And I'm never like that. I don't do that.
I'm glad that I had that effect.
Yeah, you really did, man.
I appreciate you telling me that.
Because I'm a stickler about how I feel. I've told him several times, man, let's go. Let's get out of here. We're not going there. We're not doing that. We're done. Yeah. And vice versa. He might tell me, hey, man, but, I know that I just had a good energy once I walked in the door, and I'm like, okay, this dude's genuine. He's here for all the right reasons, and that's what was important to me. And I felt that you wanted me to give you my perspective. You really want to know about Monday 7E, Mynority Report, G's, what we're doing. And, I was just able to let my guard down, and I'm always guard up. So it's really refreshing when I can be totally comfortable. Yeah. Because that doesn't happen for me that often. Unless I'm at home. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad I had that.
Because my home is 3 hours from here. Okay. We drive, 3 hours to come here, Yeah, so.
Y'all staying the night, I guess, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Are y'all still doing music? Y'all gonna stay?
No, we're done for tonight. We're done for tonight. We'll go back tomorrow, hopefully make a Colorado trip. First thing next week, I
was about to say go to Colorado tonight.
Tomorrow. No, probably Tuesday or Wednesday.
So you guys will be traveling.
Yeah, man, we're just really trying to, get things done, man. I got so much to do, and none of us are guaranteed any time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm always just trying to stay ahead because, you know, Lord willing, I can live to be 140, you know, but if not, I want to already have things ready.
Yeah.
I want to already have it ready.
Every time I hear about Monday, he's out of town.
Yeah.
Monday's out of town.
Yeah.
He's over here. He's over. When I say out of town, I mean it's a different town.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a different place.
Yeah.
I hear about you being everywhere. But where's Monday, y'all, man? He's in Utah. Where's Monday at all? Texas. Where's Monday? You know what I mean? They said he was at the Strange Music Building last week, but then he's, you know what I mean? I'm like, well, when am I gonna meet this Monday guy, man? I want to meet Monday, man. Yeah. And so I'm glad I finally got to meet you, bro. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
truly an honor.
Man, it's been an honor for me, man. And like I said, man, I like what you're doing, and my win is definitely going to be your win, and hopefully your win will help definitely be mine.
Yeah,
because I like I said, I have a small circle. Now I've added you to the circle, so I want my success to reflect on your success as well.
I appreciate that.
For real. Like, and that's my word.
Well, ask Black Walt if he can get me some distribution.
Man, Walt, I believe Walt can do anything.
If I'm in the circle, you think he can do anything?
Yeah, I believe Walt can do anything, man.
For real, man.
Man, he's so involved, man, and he's just got such a passion about what we do. You know, I think when
I asked you that question, that's what who is Black Walt? What is
he to me?
What is he to our this music thing in Kansas City?
I think Walt, and I mean this sincerely, I think he is the vessel to get those who are supposed to be doing it at the highest level there. Whether it's podcast, whether it's gospel, whether it's rock, I think having, you know, me and Walt talk a lot about spiritual stuff too. You know, a lot of me and Walt's childhoods are pretty similar, you know, in certain aspects, and he wants to see you win, and he wants to see you win genuinely. That's why I'm surprised. You know, I don't know if you were being serious or not when you said that you heard that Black Walt wouldn't do your podcast.
Yeah.
Because
that's real.
Wow,
that's a fact.
I mean, well, I'll tell you this, because
no, he did. I didn't hear that from him.
I know. So, I know that now when I talk to Walt tomorrow and I tell him I came and did 816 podcasts, I know the good things that I'm going to say about it from my own personal experience, because, and I don't know who you heard that from, but I think you're definitely the type of guy that Walt would definitely do a podcast, like 100%.
Right.
And I know Walt very well. You know,
we spoke.
I think he should. I'm going to suggest that he does it.
Honestly, when he was, remember when he came home, he was in Florida.
Yeah.
We were talking. I was trying to go down to Florida and interview him. I was trying. It didn't really work out.
Well, we got to make that happen. Now that's like my fucking mission. For real.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's like my fucking mission.
Because honestly, and the reason why I kept asking you this question about Black Walt, like who is he? It sounds like who he was back then is who I am today. I'm the guy that's going to go get the artist, the music, the distribution. I'm the guy that's going to go make sure the video gets done. I'm the guy that's going to go to the studio and put us in the studio time. You know what I mean? I'm just missing a few components.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it sounds like Black Walt did so many years of that. He already collected those components.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where we could help each other at. Because I got the youth. I got them kids, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it would be a great venture, you know, just meeting you now and stuff, and seeing where your head's at and what you're trying to do, and the positive stuff that you're trying to bring to our community and our city. Man, I think it's a no-brainer at some point you and Walt working together.
Yeah, it's in due time. It'll happen.
I think so for sure, man.
If God's willing, it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And like I said, I don't know who told you that but I always tell my kids all the time, the devil works twice as hard as Jesus has to. Yeah. So, you never know why things are said or why actions are made. It could not even be how that person actually feels. It could be something that's beyond them. Even if it's just for that moment in time, just to kind of shake the earth a little bit. Because what happens if earth moves just a fraction of an inch? Total chaos. Just a fraction of an inch, the amount of a hair. It would throw tsunamis, earthquakes, everything. So it's just as easy for somebody to knock us off our axis with just a mere comment. He'll tell you, when I'm at the casino or someplace where it's a crowd, I don't want certain people to touch me, or I can't acknowledge them, even if they're being pleasant to me, because I don't know where it's coming from spiritually.
Right.
Right. They might be saying, "Hi, Monday," and just me saying hello. That might be the devil wanting to know how I sound.
Might be a way.
So he can mimic me.
Yep.
And talk to one of my children or trick one of them. So I have to be so careful with my spiritual shit, Yeah. So he'll tell you, man, I've had some beautiful people around me, and I'm just like, I don't give a fuck who the fuck you are, I don't know. I know the devil works twice as hard.
Yeah, the devil.
And he'll send the troops. He'll send the troops, boy.
The devil will get on you,
man, one way or the other.
He'll try. He'll try. I'm covered by the blood, though.
That's exactly.
He gonna keep coming. Yeah.
Working twice as hard.
For real. He
keep on working twice as hard. You're going to have to keep on working, especially on this one.
For real.
You have to keep it.
You have to keep working.
Because it ain't going to stop me.
No, not at all.
Until God say he's done with me, I'm still going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The devil
already predetermined.
Yeah.
Yep.
Devil got the work cut out for him.
Man, for real.
Fooling with me. So, and I'm pretty sure whoever did that was, like you said, put a shift in it.
Just a little wave, because
it definitely made me stop contacting me.
Yeah, and see, I can, like I said, and I can say this because I know Walt personally. Me and him call each other brothers for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And I know that when I talk to Walt, I'm going to let him know, man, dude's solid as a mug. You know what I'm saying? Definitely go do that.
Yeah.
Definitely make that happen.
I would love to have him on the show.
Man.
I would love to have him on the show.
I think likewise for him being on the show. Because
some of the stuff you saying he did, I didn't know he was the one who, he got you your distribution.
He got me my distribution on a level that people don't get.
He said, you out your deal? You done with them people? Come over here. Come get this distribution. He was supposed to sign you and get a piece of that.
Man.
And he let you get it all.
Man, he did everything for me, man. Like I said, a lot of people is doing this. Walt was doing actions.
That's what I do in the community. I take action.
Yeah.
It's a track record. Anything that my name's attached to, it's action.
Yep.
We taking action. You know what I mean? And that's why I want to meet him, because I actually want to know where he got that drive from, because I don't know where mine came from.
He's so solid, man. I mean, he's one of my favorite people. Like, to be honest, man, he's a really good dude, good heart. That's why it just amazes me that someone said that he didn't want to do it.
No, they didn't say he didn't want to do it. What they said was, there's someone in their circle, right? And me and that guy isn't seeing eye to eye. We weren't seeing eye to eye. And he was just like, shit, nigga, if you think you gonna have Black Walt come on there, if he ain't coming on there if you ain't fucking with me. It was like some shit like that.
Yeah, see, that's bullshit.
Some shit like that.
Walt don't march to nobody else's drum, you know. No.
It may well, like you said, like ironically, you put all the pieces to the puzzle together. You said, bro, that might have just been how that person felt in the moment and just wanted to shift the world.
Yeah.
Because if you shift the world, it's going to be tsunamis, earthquakes, and volcanoes.
Just the slightest move.
Well, when that person did that shift in the world, it shifted me to shut down.
Yep.
To where I never even contacted Blackwater again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just that comment.
Yeah.
Just, you know what I mean?
Well, we don't want to waste any more time. We're going to definitely, I think it should definitely happen. And it's not like I'm going to be going to Walt saying, hey, bro, man, you should go do this. No, hey, bro, I went and did this podcast, man, and I feel really good about it. And the brother would really like for you to, to interview with you. You got a lot of information to share that'll be beneficial for everybody who hears it. And he gonna be like, shit, let's do it. Matter of fact, Walt should be here the 4th or 5th. I forget what he said. In the next couple of days or something. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely gonna talk to him. I'm rallying 100%. I'll tell Walt, shit, I'll come back with him. You know what I'm saying? For real. Yeah. Me, him, and G's, we'll come together. Shit, for real. I think it should happen. I think both of y'all deserve that. Yeah. It's not just a one-sided thing. I think he can benefit just as much being on there as he can be for you being on it, man. Right. Because it's all about information, man, and sharing information.
That's what it's about. Because like the one thing I really wanted to ask you about was your record deal. The information on that. Like what you signed for, why'd you sign, how'd you sign, what was the process, where'd you sign? You know what I mean? What came with the deal?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know too many people that ever had a record deal.
When MW Pro, they gave me a shitload of money to sign.
How much? No, don't say the price. I'm just saying, what is it? A couple $100,000?
No, not that much. But all together, it was somewhere around that with the money that I made during the process of recording the album and per diem and signing and. It was a lot of perks that came along with it.
Oh, they signed you to something nice, though.
Yeah. Cash-wise, yes. But points-wise and publishing-wise, hell no.
You lost.
I got it back, but it was a court battle and everything. Monday's my actual name, and they was trying to make it where I couldn't even use my own fucking birth name.
Huh?
Because I was signed under their label as Monday. That's why I ended up at first adding the 7E because they were trying to sue me to not even be able to use my own birth name.
Because of the publishing.
Because of the stupid deal I signed, and I signed it because we were going to amend it. Once they made a certain amount, we'll go back to the drawing. Well, after they made that amount, they kept blowing me off. Oh, yeah, we'll get with the lawyers. We're going to change that. Your percentage is going to go up. And never happened, dude. So, it was a lot of static for a while. It got, and I can honestly say, I think if Walt hadn't have been on vacation, Walt would have fixed the problem. I really do. I think he would have fixed it.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. For
that
sure.
Nigga like Jimmy Henchman.
Man, Walt's better than that. He's better than that because he's coming from a good place.
We're talking about Violator.
I know what you're talking about.
Jimmy Henchman going through getting shit fixed, bro.
Yeah, and Walt would have fixed
some shit fixed, bro.
Yeah. In that aspect, yes, for sure. And Walt, I think things would have went different.
Yeah.
If he hadn't have been vacation.
Do you think so? He knew the people at the label, or he's just...
No, he met them through me.
Oh, he's one of them people that can come through and fix it.
Yeah, but he had my back on it, He was in charge of my distribution. Like, he was like the label's liaison from me, them, and the distribution, Walt was the centerpiece to make all the connections.
You think he had distribution like Master P now?
I think really... that level come on, man. He had like real shit, man. I don't really want to, and I'll put it like this. He was powerful as hell back then, he's 10 times more powerful than that now. 10 times. 10 times more powerful than that now. And he's smarter now. And he's wiser. And he's more dedicated. So that alone makes him way more powerful than he was back in 2007 and 8. For sure. Way more powerful, way more influence. Yeah, those are facts.
That's crazy. I didn't know that about
Yeah, man, that dude's the real deal, man. He's the real deal. Like, he's the real deal.
So he got labels in the pocket.
I think he has all the pieces to be able to do whatever he wants to do, you know, and people really respect him.
I need to meet this guy.
Man, you'll like Blackwalt, man. You'll like Blackwalt.
Yeah, I know. They said he gave Tech Nine his name.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. I'm telling you, Walt's the reason why this new album is Tech's best album to date.
You keep saying it.
Man, if it wasn't so late, I would call Walt right now and put him on speaker and be like, hey, listen, is this new album Tech's best work? Walt's going to say, by far. By far.
We're going to see.
We're going to see, man.
It's going to come out.
We're going to see.
It's going to come out. Then I thought, you know what I thought you was going to say originally? Well, his new album is going to be tight. His new album is so dope because he got a bunch of the young artists from Kansas City on it. But then you're like, it's just him on it.
It's just him.
Like, okay.
Just him.
Okay, this is crazy.
Yeah. That's
this
what I'm
is
saying.
crazy.
That's what I'm saying. No features.
Really, huh?
He's got like, I think 1 or 2 features that just chorus. No verses, no nothing. It's all him.
So most of you guys' music, do you guys do it no features, just you two? Or you just did Chris Calico?
Yeah, but that was something that was in the making a while back.
Bro, you on the song with Chris Calico?
He does the skit on the
outro to it.
The outro to it. Yeah.
You're on a song with Chris Calico.
Already.
Yep, today.
Ain't even paid his dues. Nah. In this business, it's who you know.
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
It's who you know.
I'm not a jealous man.
And it's crazy, too, because my dad used to wear that saying, how it's not what you know, it's who you know. Everybody around there where I grew up used to say that.
Yeah, and it's the truth.
I'm not a jealous man, but I'm in my box about you being on a record with Chris Calico.
I know, lucky
you lucky motherfucker.
I feel blessed to be in the position that I'm in, that we're in as a group, and you know it's been a real experience. You know, a real, just real culture shock. You know, just being a part of it now. You know, you know I've listened to it. I've heard it over the years, but, you know, it's really, you know, I've always been one of those that, you know, if I want something, I'm gonna chase it. I used to tell myself when I was a kid, you know, my dream car was a Camaro. Not only did I have a Camaro, I bought the best
one you can have.
ZL1 LE with 650 horsepower. You know, it was a bucket list. And, you know, I've always been in that mentality that, you know, every job that I've ever had, you know, it's always been putting myself in a better position. And now it's like Monday comes along, we meet, you know, I see something in him, he sees something in me, and we really just had this fire start, and it's like we're just running wild now.
And he's not, what I like about him, like, because I told him, I said, you know, if you're gonna be in this business, you gotta live this culture too. And this is one thing that Redmond brought up. And so, and this is what me and him, because, you know, there were times when things were a little bit rocky and shit. And I told him, I said, well, I wrote down like 10 different artists I wanted him to listen to.
Yep.
Anita Baker, Shalimar, Luther Vandross, Muddy Waters, Ella Fitzgerald, Duke Ellington. I said, you listen to these artists, you go home, you go back to Texas, and I want you to spend as much time as you can, because I want you to start feeling this culture, feeling this pain, feeling. Yeah. And he did that, man. You know,
some of that shit you can feel, get you goosebumps.
Yeah,
I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah, and he was willing to do that. He never heard of them fucking artists, but I said, if once you start to understand those artists, you're gonna understand me more.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be better for our spirits.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I know there's been a lot of times where I can just sit and listen. And, you know, I feel like that's a really good trait of mine. Is I usually tend to listen to what people are saying a lot more than doing the talking in some cases. But, you know, all these times where we've been talking and I'm like, man, why is he saying it like that? Or, well, I'm saying the same thing, but maybe my lingo or the way I say it, just because of my background's a little different, you know, but really we're saying the same thing. Or why would he say that? Oh, that makes sense now. And then as we've been going, you know, it just kind of just falls into place like the pieces to a puzzle. You know?
Yeah. Well, his biggest thing is literature.
Yep.
So, you know, so when it comes to literature, you know what I mean? It's like that's the big piece of the puzzle is he told you go listen to all of this, right? And catch the literature and lingo so you can understand.
Understand the culture.
That too, and I mean, on the spiritual aspect, I mean, I've listened, you know, I was always one of those, you know, I went to church as a little kid and my mom would always have me in this little tux or something, but, you know, I always knew how to pray. But like he said, you know, it's really like been teaching me about like the spiritual aspect of things and like, you know, really being specific about what you're thankful for. You know, really looking at all the good things that are happening. And you know, that's the way I've always been. I've always, no matter what the situation, I've always tried to see the good in everybody that I meet. You know, and really take the best part from that. And even if it's something negative, you know, you can still be like, well, I guess I wouldn't do it that way. So it kind of a teaching tool as well. But
so you learned a lot from Monday.
Oh, dude, we've been learning from each other. A lot of
really have.
I mean, as fathers, as artists, as, you know, leveling up and you know, really trying to be a part of a bigger picture than thinking of a situation in a certain way, and really, okay, I can see how that would affect the big picture now. And he's telling me all these little pieces and tidbits, but I had to put them all together in my head, and that's why I'd be thinking and saying like, oh, that's why I said that. And, you know, then there's a situation that like people, things, whatever, put in our lives at the right time. You know, it seems like all these puzzle pieces are just falling right in. The whole picture's being painted right before our eyes.
It's all coming together. It's all coming together. Wait till he gets to doing the movies. You're going to really see it coming together.
He knows my concept.
I tell you what, this dude, he'd be acting in the garage, and I'd be like, damn, it's like I'm watching, and I'd be sitting there watching him and be like, man, you need to keep going. Can you do that again? I want to see that again. This dude, like you said, acting background, dancing. Dude, just well-rounded. And, you know, I've been trying to take some of those traits and trying to incorporate them into, you know, somebody teaching you how to do something, but you maybe learned it a different way or didn't do it a certain way, and really trying to apply all the tools now and put all the pieces in the right spot.
That's amazing that you got somebody in your life that can help you with that. But it's also cool that, like you said, y'all learn off each other. You get to learn off someone younger than you.
For real.
And it's amazing that you embrace it. Because me, as an older, like sometimes my nephews talk, like, man, shut up. Fuck you talking about. Fuck you talking to. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious though. You know what I mean? And I'm old. I'm stubborn at 40. You know what I'm saying? You're a little older than me, so but you got off that stubbornness and was like, this youngster might know something.
For real.
Because I don't even know how to work my phone.
For real.
And he got to tell me I work my phone sometimes, so I might have to listen to him. You know what I mean? So that's amazing that you embrace it.
And that's so true you say that, man. I learned a lot. Him, like, my significant other is super young, you know? She's 31, you know what I'm saying? So I'm always talking to her about technical stuff. babe, how do I do this? Or I'll call him, or I'll call Redmond. I'm like, how do I do this? And so
one time I was you were supposed to send us something. He said, he was like, I'll talk to you on the phone. I remember he was like, yeah, bro, I'm on the road, bro. I'm gonna send it over to you. And me and Redmond was together. And I was like, bro, it's been about 30 minutes, man. Monday still ain't sent it, bro. He said, man, Monday old, bro. He ain't sending you nothing, man. He don't know how to,
For
Trey.
real.
He don't know how to do it, man. He's worse than you. Because he knows I've got the same problem. He knows I'm the same guy. He's like, he's worse than you. He don't know how to send it.
For real. I'm going to have to get a hold of him. Yeah. My woman, Redmond.
Yeah.
I ain't learning how to send shit.
I'm the same way.
Shit, I was having difficulty learning to the airdrop, and they're just like, no, just push this button and hold your phone. I'm like, oh, okay, is that easy?
Way easier than an email.
Yeah,
that airdrop thing messes me up. It messes me up every time. The 10 minutes and shit. You know what I mean? Man. Turn your airdrop on for 10 minutes. I got another one if you want.
No, because we're gonna.
It's about time to get out of here.
Okay, it's been real, man.
No, I was that you said I thought I was really adding on to what you was finishing.
No, okay.
I thought you was about to say, no, we're about to get out of here. That's what I thought you was going to say. But I was going to say, is there anything else you wanted to tell the people? Anything else you want to give to the fans? Give your fans.
Stay tuned for this album. We're finally done officially today. Monday 7E presents Mynority Report. It's a great ride.
Oh, you finished the album today?
Yes, the album is finished today.
It was finished, but it's finished again today.
Yeah, it's 100% finished. We're not making any more changes. Because we had the Calico song.
So Chris Calico is on the album. Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah.
That's all.
And that was courtesy. And I'd like to give a shout out to Contretto. He was a part of making the Calico track happen.
Contretto.
Yeah, Contretto. That's another guy when he comes to Kansas City. He's from Florida, but man, he'd be a really nice interview for you too.
So a Florida guy put together a song with.
I got 3 that I'm doing with him. 2 with him and Chris Calico, and then we already have one out called Beef. Me, him, and Calico. That's on YouTube right now and Spotify and everywhere. And then now G's, myself, and Calico are on the Public Enemy track.
So yeah, put Chris Calico on the
Yeah.
If you don't, can we cheat one more cheat on the album? I need one more.
What's that?
One more feature.
You want to get on?
No. Who else you got on there?
Man, that's
one more feature.
Yeah, we got Anonymous. We got Anonymous on it.
He's on the hook for Public.
We have Innocent. We have Phoenix on there. It's pretty, it's pretty sparse on the features on this one. We kind of wanted to keep it pretty much, because Walt told me, he's like, man, he told me exactly what he told Tech, man. Monday, your fans want to hear you, just about you. And then I had to convince Walt. I'm like, well, I want to do this group thing with my brother, Mynority Report.
Yeah.
And Walt was like, what? And I'm like, yeah, man, trust me on this. And when I sent Walt the album over the first time we had it finished, he said, I like it. And I said, well, it's really not done yet. He says, man, what are you changing up? I said, man, just trust me on this. Walt texts me back. I let him see the text. Yeah. He says, man, I didn't think you could make it better, but you did it. Congratulations.
Okay. You had more to it?
Yes. And it was something that needed to be done because it just wasn't sitting well with me. And I'm talking to him. He's like, yeah, you're right. We got to go back in. And I didn't want to settle.
You're a perfectionist.
Yes.
But
we do tend to do that a lot.
It's actually done.
Yeah, it's 100%. Over with. It's over.
You can't go back and change nothing else.
No, nor will we. I don't care what bright idea I have. We're not doing nothing.
I think that's amazing. You guys got music with Chris Calico. I feel like he should do more music.
Man, Chris is so talented.
The community.
Yes. Yeah, he is so talented.
Especially after he left Strange. You know who Boy Biggs is?
I've heard of him. He's a singer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what he did was he used to sing with Rich the Factor.
I like Rich.
He always on Rich music.
I like Rich.
And it was like crack rap, and he would sing crack rap, right? Mm-hmm. But now he's into gospel. but not gospel. So he'll do a song with me, and we'll talk about. He just saw my brother and said, if I could see around the corner, then maybe little Jimmy still be here. If I could see around the corner, you know what I mean? He made a song. He likes to make music like that.
Like that.
Like, you know what I mean? If I could see around the corner, you know what I mean? A lot of things will be different.
Yeah.
That's dope.
But my brother couldn't cuss on the song.
Right.
Because his daughter got to listen to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he makes a different type of music like that. You know what I mean? And basically what I'm getting at was Boy Biggs had stepped out of the culture for a minute because he wanted to do Christian rap or Christian music, and so he didn't want to be in the culture. But when he came back to the culture, he made us adjust to him.
Yeah.
Well, we don't got Chris Calico in the culture like that with us over here, man. We need to get him over here, man. You know what I'm saying? We need them Chris Calico features floating around with these younger artists in Kansas City.
For real.
You know what I mean? We really need that.
That is so true, man.
You know what I mean?
That is so true.
That's needed.
That is needed.
It's needed. Very, very much needed. Bro, I don't. You know who Marley Young is?
Marley Young, yeah.
I need a Chris Calico Marley Young record tonight.
Man.
It'd be crazy.
I like Marley Young. He's talented.
He's
I like
talented.
him.
Very talented.
He's very talented.
Very talented.
Redman has something set up that he's finna do. Me, him, and Marley Young.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful
amazing.
too.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I like Marley.
Yeah,
I really
Marley.
do.
Man, a Marley Young Chris Calico song will probably be
Man, you ain't lying.
fire.
Yes, that would be very.
I want him to do 3, so we could pick one.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? That'll be fire, bro. You know
that's an artist from Kansas City that I'm truly surprised that a major label didn't come and swoop him up.
Marley?
Yes.
He signed to a label, but I think
I'm talking about major. I'm talking about Interscope, Warner, Sony. He's that caliber artist for sure. You know.
I don't think we should talk about that.
Okay, let's not.
Yeah.
But he is very talented.
It's gatekeepers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let's put it like that.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say that word. I'm gonna just leave it. I'm gonna leave that there with the Marley Young thing.
There is.
I believe there was gatekeeper. I believe there was a conversation with some people, and they said, "Well, what's up with that kid?" And the conversation didn't go in his favor.
Yeah.
I believe that happened.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
I believe that
he's
happened.
so talented, man.
Yeah, I believe that happened
talented.
to Marley Young. I believe it did. I don't know.
But I'm gonna tell you this: with the song that this dude got that he played for me tonight,
with Marley,
yeah, he plans on having Marley on it. That song is gonna be huge.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's gonna be huge. I was like, wow.
I hope he gets on there. I call him right now. You want me to call him right now?
No, that's something that Redman's setting up himself.
Let me call him for you, bro. I'll call him right now. No, Marley does music. It's the easiest thing.
Is dope.
He just it's so easy for him, and he's just next level with it, bro.
He is, man.
He's next level.
Yeah, he's cold. That's for sure.
I feel like he was supposed to get that call, and when that call came, it rung on the other phone and not his phone.
Right. Yeah.
And when that other person picked it up, they didn't say what they were supposed to say. They didn't direct the number to his.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear exactly what you're saying.
I believe that happened to Marley
too, man.
Because, I believe that happened to Marley.
Yeah, because he's too talented to have not really been doing some really huge things.
Yeah, I would love to hear him and Chris Calico on a song together.
Man.
You know what? I have this dream, right?
You know who I love? You know who would be like super dope? Now, since we're on the subject of Marley, and this might be me thinking way outside the box. I think Marley and Jelly Roll would be a dope ass fucking duet. And you know, Jelly Roll is one of the top selling artists in the world right now. I think the contrast with Jelly Roll and Marley Young,
I'm gonna say this,
would be so dope.
I believe that song was already supposed to happen. I'm just, but there's gatekeepers.
I really think with Marley Young and Jelly Roll, that would be awesome.
I think that song should have happened. Isn't Jelly Roll part of Stranger Music?
Well, I think he gets his distribution through them. Okay. He's very connected over there. I'll say that for sure.
He's very, very connected.
Very connected over there. Strange. Yeah.
Why the song ain't happening?
I have no clue.
We both know that. What would happen if that song came out?
That'd be huge. That'd be huge. Just the contrast of Marley and Jelly Roll would be phenomenal.
That's like real crazy, bro.
Like phenomenal.
That would be crazy, bro.
Yeah, that would be crazy as fuck.
I would tell that nigga, I would tell Marley Young, like, hey, listen, bro, tell Jelly Roll you want to make the song for the Lion King too.
Well, you ain't lying. Moana 3.
Yeah, Moana 3. Y'all niggas want to make
real.
Y'all want to make something else.
Real.
Y'all want to make y'all want to make something. Forget this stuff we got going on. Go make a song for a movie.
Yeah.
For a cartoon movie or something. Yes. You know what I mean? That's the Sonic 4.
Yeah, for real.
You know
for
what I'm
real.
saying? Go make a song for that. You know what I mean? I would love to hear Marley on one of those.
Man. Yeah, he's dope as fuck.
He is. I hope you guys do work.
Redman's trying to set it up, man. And what he played me tonight, I'm like, fuck, man, that's going to be a huge record, man.
He's a talented artist.
Mm-hmm.
He
really is. He really is.
I want to try to get him and Chris Calico in there together.
Man, that would be awesome.
I want to see that.
That would be awesome.
I would love to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Tell Chris I need to talk to him, man. I want to get him on here, too.
I'll get Contretto to get a hold of him. I think Contretto can pretty much call Chris anytime.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Contretto?
Yeah, Contretto.
Who is, so he's...
You got to do, man, he's going to be up here in June. Mm-hmm. I'm going to reach out to him today and get it. Redman has all his info. You need to have him on here, man, because he has a pretty decent little fan. I think he's on tour right now, but he has a pretty big fan base, and I think this will be a really good platform for him too. And he loves everything about Kansas City. That's another thing I really like about Contretto. He really holds our city to his heart. You know, he loves our city, man. He loves everything about Kansas City.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Like, I sent him his Travis Kelce jersey.
Oh, yeah.
For Christmas, I sent him a Kelce official on-field jersey and shit. He reps Kansas City so tough. Yeah, man.
That's pretty cool. So you bless your people.
Oh, man. What did I tell him? The promoter asked me when we were going to do some shows. He said, well, how much do you want to get paid? I said, I just want everybody to get something equal. I want everybody to get the same amount. I don't want me getting more than G's or me if Redman's on tour with us. Everybody equal. And if I got to take less to make sure everybody has an equal, and that guy he says, I've been promoting for 25 years. No artist has ever said that when I asked him. I said, I'm just keeping it real, man. I'm a simple man. I don't need a whole bunch of fucking dumb shit, man. I just want everybody. Because how can I expect my crew, my guitarists or pianists or whoever, violinists, to work just as hard if my scale is way up here and theirs is down here? I wouldn't want to work as hard that way. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I'm going to work harder if I'm getting paid the same amount as the motherfucker's name on the marquee. Mm-hmm. I'm finna work double time for this motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm about to put in some work.
I'm about to put in some work, man.
We getting paid the same.
We getting paid the same?
Oh, let's go, bro. I fuck with you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? For real. With you, bro. For real.
You a good dude for that.
Yeah, I want everybody to get paid equally.
That's how I would
like straight up. Bruce Jackson, he and I were talking because one of his artists, she was going to do some touring with us. And, you know, we're kind of talking numbers, and I told him the same thing. I said, man, I want her to get the same amount as I get, as he gets, as everybody gets, man. I don't think it's fair when somebody's pay scale is way up here and then the other one is down there and everybody's trying to reach the same goal. I don't like that at all. If I'm making 2,000, everybody. If I got to make 1,000 or 500 so everybody's equal, then so be it. So be it, man. Because first of all, I'm doing something I love to do. I love to do this shit. I was doing it for free before I ever made $1. Yeah. You know, and would still do it for free right now. For real. You know, so I just want everybody to be. Yeah, I just want everybody to be equal, man. I don't like that shit, and I've heard so many bad stories about people not getting their propers, man. It's not cool. It's not cool.
That's the thing that happens at most labels, isn't it? Like, it happened to you.
Yes. And it's funny because this other track that Controtto invited me to be on with Calico, you got to hear that verse. Matter of fact, I'm going to send it to Redmond, and I want you to just listen to his verse. It's going to put a lot of things in perspective. You're going to be like, whoa, man, really?
Bro, I got a news clip on my phone about Chris Calico that they just put out not too long ago. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Especially a guy that talented, man.
Especially a guy that talented.
Especially, and he's a good person.
Man, bro, I met him before.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man.
He's a great person.
He is. He really is.
Outstanding human being.
Yep. He really is.
I'm talking about from the inside.
Yes.
From the inside, bro.
He is, man.
He's a great person, man. I like Chris Calico a lot.
Me too.
And I met him on the block. We was in the hood.
Right.
He was out there with us doing... You want to know what's crazy? He was out there doing so much regular nigga shit where it was like, you know what I mean? We was like on the block and he was just like so regular. Mm-hmm. It was like he was doing so much, he was just regular with us. And he just got off tour with Tech, right?
Right.
And I didn't notice it was him until he like blinked.
Right.
And I seen the pigments.
Right.
And I was like, is that Chris Calico? Is he just standing out here with us? We've been out here for about 2 or 3 hours, and he just here. So, and I always knew right there he was a down to earth person.
Is, man. He really is.
Down to earth person, good good dude. But no, anything you guys want to say before we depart?
We totally appreciate you having us. That's for sure.
I appreciate you for coming.
Yeah,
I appreciate you.
Yeah, this has been great, man. I'm so glad
When he quits music, G's, are you gonna quit?
Hell no, I ain't gonna let him.
No, we're gonna be doing soundtracks and all kinds of shit.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. I will continue to do just stuff for soundtracks for movies.
Oh, for your movies?
Yeah. I will do that.
You're gonna always do music.
Yeah.
I think you need to get a studio in your garage.
Shit. I would never sleep, man.
Yeah, you should get a setup.
I tell you what, it's like to Monday, doing music is almost like too easy. Like he needs the complexity of like the screenplay, the writing,
I really do,
composing of the whole picture. Because this dude is way too talented to just be doing music.
So so I got this thing I'm trying to create, right?
Okay.
Where I wake up in the morning, I get dressed, I put on all the clothes, I put on all the jewelry.
Right.
I got sets.
Right.
I got the yellow set, the white set, the rose gold set. I got rings, the jewelry, the watch. I got the sets, the glasses, the matches. Set. I got sets. So I put on my set. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then I got, as you could see outside, vehicles.
Oh my God. You got vehicles.
So I hop in one of them cars and I go to the studio and I rap about what I'm wearing. Mm-hmm. And then I go outside and do a music video in that car.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm done right there. And I wake up in the morning and do that again.
Yeah.
Man, I want to do that for like a year straight.
Oh, that'd be dope.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's so basically like you're saying, he wants to do the screenplay, do the music. Yep. I want to do that music to where it's like real time.
Yeah, real time.
Real time music. Like this is what I'm wearing. This is what we're drinking. Yep. This is what we're eating. Yep. It's all right here. You see it in the video. Yep. I just said it on the song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It only take me 20 minutes to do the song.
That's straight reality music.
Reality music.
Reality music right there. That's reality music.
I'm building that.
Yeah, I like that.
That's what I'm building for myself. I'm gonna get that done eventually.
Yeah. I like that idea.
Reality music. I never
reality
really
music.
like that.
Yeah, that's reality
cool.
music.
I like you one day, man. You're a pretty cool dude, man.
You too, man. Likewise, man. Likewise.
Nah, we're gonna get out of here, man. I appreciate you guys.
Hey,
appreciate you.
Where can they find you at?
So mine's G's on all social media. That's GE 3 I's and a Z. And
MinorityReportMusic.com.
And then we also got MinorityReportMusic.com. Like we said earlier, we got the missing and exploited children for the donation link. We got the music. We're gonna start doing the news. We got a news tab on there too. So we're gonna try to keep everybody updated to all the moves we're making and everything. Yep. This new album and the volume 2 as well.
Send me your website so I can post it on my page.
Oh, cool. We'll do.
I will, especially if you donate for the children. I'm trying to do that.
Yep. They can go there and 100%. The QR code goes right to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Yep. We don't get one penny of that, and we're proud to try to do as much for them.
Not
as we
only
can.
the music lovers, but the missing and exploited children to us is just as important.
Yeah.
So even if somebody doesn't listen to, because there's people out there that, they only like certain genres or it's not their type or something, but we still want, somebody to be able to go and donate to a good cause.
Yeah. And there's no minimum amount. If they want to do $1, 50 cents, it doesn't matter. Yep. Just and when it comes to missing and exploited children, and because we've actually put our own money as well, so $1, 50 cents, a quarter, it doesn't matter. We want to raise any and all money for them because as a parent, I can't imagine how it would feel to have a child that you don't know where they're at. That would drive me crazy.
That would drive me crazy.
That would drive me crazy. I'd be just like driving around all over the United States for the rest of my life.
Yep.
I would literally die behind the wheel, just driving around trying to find my kid.
Like the dad off Taken.
Yeah, for real.
Yep.
Yeah, just be out there.
I'm going to go find my daughter
I'm going to go
Russia.
For real.
In Russia.
Yeah, for real, man. So that's why we're so passionate about that, And
So the website where I can donate to the children is called. What's the name of the website?
So
Minority
our website
Report.
is minorityreportmusic.com.
And you can.
And so there's a drop
link.
down. There's the three bars at the top. The drop down, you'll see like news, store, and then you'll see donate. You click the donate tab, and then click on donate. Once it pulls up the page.
Will you make sure he gets everything, Redmond?
Yeah.
We'll make
That's
sure
just
you get
the website. It's the website called Minority Report.
music.com.
Yeah,
But clicking on the donate takes you from our website directly to missing and exploited children. So then at that time, then it's through them directly.
Yep.
So it's just a way of us of getting
We're just a vessel.
traffic through our website to them as well.
That's a great vessel to be.
And we also have the cards,
Yep.
the promo cards, which you can just scan it with your phone and it goes directly to them too.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool, man. That y'all did that. That's very selfless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we want to do that,
Very
man.
selfless.
That, and we want to do with this new album, we want to do say 1,000 copies pre-release that we donate 50% of that
right off the bat.
to 50% straight off the top to missing and exploited children. That's going to be one of our goals as soon as this album comes out, or before it even comes out, just to sell 1,000 copies just to get them and a good cause, the 50% of our record, which is really important to us because we feel, like we said, couldn't imagine what it'd be like to have one of our children missing,
Oh my God.
But not only that, but they go so much deeper. There's so much technology, cyberspace, bullying stuff they're covering nowadays with programs. So they got a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
So what's the name of this album that's coming out?
This is Monday 70 presents Minority Report.
Yep.
Okay, and this is coming out when?
We don't have an official release date. We
But you just
literally
finished it tonight.
We've just finished it tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you still now. Yeah,
Well,
you got
man,
more
a few
stuff to
little
do.
tweaks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
got a couple things to do.
Yeah. The album's done, so we're gonna start making sure we get a release date pretty soon.
Yep.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Who's going to distribute it?
You know what? We haven't really made a decision. You
got to go get with Empire.
I don't know. I'm gonna. I hate to bring his name up again, but Walt has a pretty good distribution thing on the table for us that we could, capitalize on. But
What's
we
the
might do
percentage?
some. Well, we haven't got that far yet because, like Mr. Redmond says, man, with this album, y'all don't even need nobody. Y'all can do this 100% independent and make just as much of an impact, if not more. So we've been considering that too, just doing our own thing.
Even if you went through the distribution, through Black Walt, your distribution, he just giving you a distribution portal or
No, it would be for the whole kit and caboodle, man. Like, he has a whole list of things
package
that if I want to do.
You got to go over there and come do all of this.
Yeah.
You got to come do all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this comes with the package.
Well, I mean, I think Walt would let me like kind of get specifics on what I would want, but to be honest with you,
he's building a label, so
we're more inclined just to do this one ourselves, do our own radio ads.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, man. Y'all should go through Empire Distribution, man.
Well, Redmond, you have all their info.
I'm not familiar with Empire.
You're not familiar with Empire?
Not with Empire. I mean, the game has changed a lot too when it comes to distribution.
Yeah.
Like, back in the day, you really had to have, physical material, right? But now it's all about the speed in which you can deliver. Make sure you got a schedule. Make sure it's easily accessible. And it's got to be on demand right away. So your distribution plan, it's got to be something that'll actually work for both sides.
Right.
Right. And so it's just looking at how the game has changed and looking at where the goals, where they align with what you're trying to do on both sides. And, I speak nothing ill on, any company or, any distribution effort or any party, but it's just looking at what it is when it comes down to doing business. You got a certain amount of inputs and you got a certain amount of output, right? So it's all about that efficiency, right? So that's kind of where I dwell. Yeah.
The efficiency.
Efficiency.
Yep.
That's a good one. But so here's why I say Empire. I got my distribution through DistroKid, I believe it was, right? And I actually own a distribution company myself called Privilege Distribution, right? Okay. But we wanted to try something different. And so me and my label mate, we were getting into it, so I went through DistroKid. In the midst of that, my brother got Empire Distribution. So he was like, yeah, bro, you got that. So he got me an E16 portal through Empire. So I get to put music out through there. Right. And the response back, the get back, when they say so through DistroKid, they'll let you do anything. If you got a song and the song has let's say the beat has a sample on it, DistroKid will just let you put it out, and then they'll let the people who own the sample grab their royalties from that. Won't even say nothing to you. Empire will stop you like, hey, before you put this out, y'all might want to change that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or get some clearances.
Or either get some clearances on this or fix that. And if you fix that, you own it all. Or if not, they own most of this. You know what I mean? Empire does stuff like that. That you know what I mean? I think is really great. Just food for thought.
Right.
Food for thought. Look at the Empire if you do distribution. But Black Wall sounds like he might be the distribution man.
Yeah, man. I think he's definitely can go any direction that I choose to.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he has a level of trust in what I do, and we really consider each other family. So
that's amazing.
Yeah,
I appreciate you guys for coming.
Hey, thank you, man. It's been real, man. It's been a great time. I'm so glad we did.
Appreciate you.
Monday.
Yep.
So it's Monday 7E now.
Monday 7E.
They won't even let you take the Monday?
No, I can do whatever now.
You whatever. Did you win the court?
Yeah, oh yeah.
We're going to get out of here because we can be all night.
I know.
Thank you, though. I appreciate y'all for coming out.
Thank you so much.
So what I just got